hope that this isn't the bar. I really hope this isn't an echo.
With the
Please
next
be the actual-
Redcon event, which is coming right now.
Bro, if this isn't the actual thing, I'm gonna be kind of upset because I haven't gotten with people today.
But
Like, yo, school. I wasn't able to meet anyone today. Oh wait, yo, I can't hear you if you're trying to talk.
Big thing when it's just a broadcast, it isn't even interactable.
so guys, this is another Redcon event.
Who's supposed to be here again?
But
Yo, who's supposed to be here again?
I'm supposed to be the people that are head of inventions. Or circuits, really.
yeah, it's inventions and circuits. Duh.
I'm waiting for them, so.
Me too.
But I'm just waiting. I really wanna. I'm at this panel mostly because I want to see what future circuits can be used in inventions for my dorm.
Hey, I found your
No one can hear.
I found your Oculus username.
Hello? Oh, sorry, I had my mic on mute. How am I
Oh,
mic
that
on
sucked.
mute?
Bro, I really hope that we're not in an echo room. I really hope that we're in a room with the actual people.
Yeah.
Panel.
Imagine if we actually were in that room, bro. That'd be actually...
Wait, did you not hear me in the thing?
No what?
The like 3D parades.
Oh no, I did.
Oh, must be in bugs then. Alright, this might be taking forever. I think we might have to join a new room.
What are they all?
But nobody see what I just said. But Squid YouTube, what the heck?
Alright, that's fine. It shouldn't take too long to start anyway.
But
Well, not really, but you get the gist.
welcome to our next Redcon, which is just about circuits.
Foxy. Then you should be able to keep. I have Gorilla Tag, I just don't play it a lot because it's a bit of a workout. I can't.
Like Rec Room's a bit my favorite game.
Well, why are you doing this? Were you grabbing your own tits or what?
Hey,
So I can grab your tits for you.
no, fuck off.
Yeah, we can go to a private one if you want, and then try there.
First come, first server. It's like people
Yes.
to join the server.
Head pat. No, don't,
Let's try if we can make a private
no.
one. Maybe that works.
He straight my ears.
Let's go to a private one. Maybe that works.
Yep.
It's gonna go.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
Why is everyone
What
leaving?
the fuck?
I don't know what happened. God.
Odzilla's coming back. Okay. Broadcast. Let me turn these off. Hello, everybody that can hear me.
Yeah.
I am so sorry for
I
the
can
delay.
hear you.
Lots of things have been going on. Oh, we have a lot of people tuned in. Okay. Let me turn. Okay. Before you start sending me notification. Too late. Too late. Everybody. Oh God. Okay, I gotta turn off my notifications.
But you could have did that
How do I
before
stop
you
this?
literally started. While you was using that time.
Broadcast. Yeah, you know, I can see it. Just, Okay. I'm not too sure. Well, we need to boot somebody out to get Odzilla back in here. Okay. We're gonna get Odzilla back. Don't worry about that. Okay, and I'm gonna just check the stream and make sure we're also streaming.
Oh, baby. There's a... Notifications are starting. Awesome. Hello, folks.
Yeah. You get like... I need to...
Turn them all off.
Also, the live stream says...
I'll try to get to all of your friend requests eventually.
Yeah, we'll just like... This later.
I try
We'll
to...
get
I try
to it,
push through.
just...
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Is Odzilla back in? Okay, just somebody message Odzilla and just... I'll just say, spam join yos.
I could try to get her back in.
Oh God.
Let me know if you have difficulty.
They are here. Yeah, we got.
There we go.
All right.
All right, let's try experiment with those camera angles as well. You wanna
We can
give
hear you
us
now too.
camera angles? Just okay, that's working. Just
Odzilla,
Alright.
you might need to request broadcasting too. It's in the event page of your watch.
Homie, what's up, my homie?
Okay. Broadcasters accept. Okay.
Demon.
Guess I need to.
Demon. How you doing?
All right. So probably not.
I don't think so.
Oh man,
I think
black
it's
and white
fine
film, my
because
favorite.
most of us are already broadcasting, so we're good now.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So.
Hello, everyone.
All right. Too easy. So everybody, welcome to the future of Circuitry 2. So we'll start off with intros. So my name's Yos. I got a few Circuitry 2 classes. What else? I'm currently studying game development, bachelor's degree,
Okay.
so that's pretty exciting. And when working with CV2, I've noticed that I'm putting a lot of the stuff that I'm learning into CV2, so that's really cool. We'll go with Talia next.
Tyleo, I'm dev lead circuits in the
Yeah.
That's it.
We'll go with Audzilla next, and then we'll hop over to Morty, and then Jeff.
Hi, I'm a designer on the UTC team, and general purpose nerd.
Alright.
Okay.
Yeah, so hello everybody, I'm Mortimer. I'm one of the founders of Ink Overflow. I do a lot of CV2 stuff for that build group, including the CV2 for, and at least part of the CV2 for the upcoming Grimecraft show today. So make sure you go visit that because that is some cool stuff. Hopefully it all works out. But yeah, check out the Grimecraft show today.
Alright, hell yeah. And then we'll get, last but certainly not least, Jeff.
Hello, I am Jeff. I like Circuits V2 a lot. I'm also on the Rec Room community team, but that's not really relevant to this event. Looking forward to it.
Yes, I'm a YouTuber.
Sweet. Alright, so now I think it's time to talk about the history of Circuits V2 and sort of where it came from. Where did it come from? Where did it go? Where did it come from, Cotton? I'm going to stop. So let's talk about CV1 and yeah, CV1 and and we'll talk about sort of why CV2 sort of needed to come in. So for that, I'm probably gonna ask Audzilla. Do you want to sort of have you been here since CV1?
I have. I was on the art team for a long time, though, so I never actually had much to do with CV1. I am fairly mystified by CV1. I cannot do very much with it at all. I think it's really hard to read.
Are you sure about that?
Tyleo can probably speak better to the reasons we needed to do CV2, but one of the just philosophical reasons was that, boy, it is not very human readable. CV1 is not super easy to understand unless you're really good with numbers.
It's like in the 50s when you're working with those early computers.
Yeah.
I could add a little bit onto that. I was hired to investigate our logic system and improve it. So I started out looking at CV1. After just a little while, my eyes started to bleed, and I was like, well, we can't quite have this. So something has to be done. As many of you who've used CV1 may know, it's not the most used. So where there was more room for improvements, it was easier for people to learn, and you'd have a wider breadth of things you could build. So we started building CV2.
Yep, I just wanted to comment on that.
Right. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, I thought I turned that off. I just wanted to say that now that Circuits V2 has been here a while and like I barely touch Circuits V1 anymore, whenever I go back and have to look at Circuits V2, usually I'm trying to figure something out that someone else has done. It's really difficult. It's really difficult to read.
I think there were also some limitations to CV1. There were just kind of hard limits with the way we'd chosen to do networking stuff in CV1. There were just always going to be limits, and there was no real way around it without rethinking the whole system, which we got the chance to do with Circuits V2.
Yeah. One thing I want to say personally, and I think this will probably sum it all up. Last year, for those of you who came to our panel last year, you're the OGs. Glad to see that you're back. But it took me about, 2 hours to set up, pretty much all of our, stuff side. But right now, there's a panel right here, and you can probably see it if you look at the table right in front of you. It has the audience count, the current time. That took me 15 minutes. That's what? 8 times the speed of doing pretty much the same thing? Come on.
And
You know, that's
and
like...
you can do way more, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
can do
also-
way more.
We can also see the time that it is right now, and that's not even possible with Circuits V1.
Yeah, we can see it's currently 11:30. I'm not even looking, you know, outside of VR. My headset's on. So that's, you know, that's pretty cool. So yeah, one other thing that I want to cover as well is sort of the design process when it comes to CV2. So how did CV2 sort of, you know, how do you go, okay, so we know all the issues with CV1, which, you know, it's bigger than a dick. What was the design process going from CV1 to CV2? How did you sort of go, okay, this is what we want for CV2?
Well, we had a lot of different inputs. I guess I'll start.
No,
Do you
go
want
ahead.
to
Go
start?
ahead. Yeah. No, you started it. I was going to get
Oh my
to
god, my damn ears.
All right. We had our own experience building rooms. Many people at Rec Room, the company, are creators, so they had difficulty using Circuits V1. We also had the Discord channel, Reddit, and various other ways the community interacted with us and told us they wanted to see CV1 improve. There's just other languages out there on the internet or in other programs that were a lot more capable than CV1. So we wanted to get more towards that, more towards something more capable, something that dealt with all the concerns the community had and the concerns we had internally, basically put us in a better place.
How do you type?
As far as the design process, I would say that CV2 was a pretty engineering-focused design, because obviously Ty Leo and the other folks who know the fundamentals of programming took the lead early on to really make sure that this met all of the requirements of like serious programming needs. And design's job on this was essentially like kind of the user experience of it. One, how do we make it... a lot of what I did at that point was the visual part of it. But then after that, there was an approach like, okay, we've got this system that, because it's so many low-level building blocks, is potentially... the rules of our system...
Hello?
But making it behave consistently enough that people could anticipate what was going to happen.
What? Okay.
On the topic of designing the design process for CV2,
Why do you want me in your butt?
what does it look like to how do you guys decide like what new chips to add, what new functionality to add, and then when you're looking at a new like functionality to add, how do you decide like what features on that functionality you'll include and exclude?
I'll answer that. I'll start the answer for that one at least. We take a lot of input from the community for what chips we want. I'm reasonably active in the Discord, so if I see something come up a bunch, we'll try to deliver it. And then our own internal creators will have chips they want for their own rooms. We'll build those as well, just so we can meet our own goals. So that's pretty much the design process for choosing chips. I will say about ports a little bit. We do try to balance capability with usability. So some of our decisions are like, is this better in a config menu? Is it better? But it can be harder to get the scripting capability to sort of dynamically change that data. So balance things.
I'll say that another
Got it.
aspect of our choices there is usually that it's if we find that something, every port incurs a cost, right? Adding ports makes stuff a little more. So we usually err on the side of exposing as few as we can get away with, because it's a lot easier to add more later than it is to take one away if we find it's too expensive. Like once we put out a supported forever, so we try to ship stuff with like, okay, how can we make this as expensive to run as possible, but still make it pretty powerful? And then we always have the option of going back and adding more ports to stuff if we're like, oh, this really needs an error output or whatever.
One can't interact with CV2 and vice
Alright.
versa. They're going to keep CV1
yeah, that's
until
certainly
everyone
interesting. Now, I
replacement.
want to sort of stay on that line and talk about the beta system. So, what is the beta system, and sort of how does it work?
I can speak to this one. So the beta system is basically, if we are not positive that something isn't going to need changes that might break it, we put it in beta. When we take something out of beta, what we want that to be is a promise to the creators that, hey, this is in its final form. We're not gonna make any changes to this that will break your runes on purpose, at least. Like, bugs always happen, obviously, but when something is beta in beta, we're basically reserving the right to rethink parts of the design in major ways. So we release stuff from beta when we're pretty sure that isn't gonna happen.
All right. So thank you for your insight on that, and I'm pretty sure that sort of clears it out for a lot of creators. I know myself, early on, I was having trouble figuring out, well, why is this in beta? This is fine, but it makes a lot more sense,
Yeah, there's some lingering design question. We're not sure how it's going to interact with whatever we release next, and that could change something, so we're holding it back just to make sure we don't make a promise we can't keep.
Yeah. Now, in terms of actual changes, I sort of want to discuss what has actually changed since our last panel, because I know a lot of the things that we're doing with CV2 nowadays are completely just out of the realm of possibility. Like if we look back at that, it's the same one. Oops, I've fallen off my chair. So if we look back at that, it's the same one we had last year, and looking at it, it's definitely in this context, it probably would look a lot different. So do you guys want to talk about what's changed and why those things changed?
Well, we have if you go on GitHub and you search Circuits V2 resources, you can actually find a whole list of all the updates we've released. It's hard to identify exactly when last year was in that list, but you'll see we release updates pretty rapidly. Some of the things we've changed are how variables are implemented. You used to have to use a separate set node. Now you could just use one variable chip to do that. We have a lot more chips that deal with authority. You get local player authority. We use these in some. I'm not 100% sure we even had circuit boards the last time, control panels, I mean, the last time we did this panel. Then we have things like the SIM chip, chairs, a lot more interaction with objects, for example, lights, respawning, and so on. We've actually done a lot. I don't want to just go through the whole list because it's so much it might take.
Yeah, well, obviously we don't want to go through the whole list, but one thing I do want to talk about is variables, and especially cloud variables. They are, like, variables in general are completely different last year. And the introduction of cloud variables especially is a super powerful tool.
A lot of games you play, like when we're not.
A lot of people don't realize, but it's like the holy grail of creating games in Rec Room. So do you guys want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Happy to. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So sorry about that. I just realised my mic was muted. What? So with like cloud variable, obviously I don't need to ask why was it introduced, but what sort of
I was just answering
what sort
someone in the
of
chat.
okay what sort of uses did you guys have in mind versus what implementations we've actually seen thus far? You know, like what did the community want and what did they get? If that makes sense.
I'm not sure Odzilla's mic is working. I could answer that one though. Cloud variables were actually largely driven by two things. One, the leaderboard chip, the CV1 leaderboard chip that is. We saw a lot of people hacking the leaderboard chip to try to use it as like a save system. And we're like, well, it'd probably be better if we just built a save system for that. And then two, we wanted to build our own room, Gourmet Garden. I'm not sure how many of you played that. And we basically required the cloud variable functionality to do that. It was sort of an internal and external push to support save data for players.
I see. So, because yeah, I remember back in the days learning how to put a bunch of like numbers into one. Because you know we only had 3 stats to work on, and it was all integers. So we're like, okay, how many bulls can I save in this?
How many balls can I save?
You know,
I have like a whole Stack Overflow post on how to like the most efficient way to pack numbers into it, and whenever somebody save like all my spells that people have bought, well, I just send them that link. Not the best experience for anybody who just wants some persistent data. So very happy to see the cloud variables are here finally.
Yeah, I'm very excited with cloud variables. So
I do wonder.
Next off,
I do wonder about with the cloud variables. They have the limitation of only allowing us to have 100 per room. And that seems like a lot, but I can assure you most creators are pretty capable of pushing the limits of what you give us. Are we going to ever see a potential increase on those limits, or are the cloud variables kind of, that's what we got, this is what we're going to be kind of dealing with for the rest of eternity?
So we usually
do you mind
do
if
things
I...
when we... What's that?
Oh wait, no, never mind. We're all good. I was just checking that Godzilla's. Yeah, we can hear you. We're sorry.
Okay, sorry. That's gonna get old. I hope that doesn't keep happening.
All right. I'm going to answer Mortimer's question. Mortimer asked, we have a limit on 100 cloud variables right now. Will there ever be more? The first thing I'll say is we have a set of bitwise chips in beta right now. Those will be coming out of beta, I believe, in 2 weeks. Those could be used to do some of the packing techniques you were talking about earlier. It's a little bit more complicated, but you can stretch that 100 quite a bit more if you use those techniques. Limit is not a hard set limit. It's basically what we thought we could support and then what we were getting asked for from the community. So like right now, we're not seeing a bunch of people in the community saying, hey, wait, we absolutely need more than 100 variables. This is the most important things in circuits. So if we do raise the limit, we'll probably wait till we're hearing more communication like that. I just don't think it's the best place to put our time right now if we have to improve something.
Yeah, the limit was
sense.
it's a pretty conservative limit, like we always do, just because we would rather be able to give you more later than have to revoke something just because we didn't know what was coming. The cloud variable did an interesting thing for us on the back end, which was it finally gave us a a room level save file instead of a subroom level save file. And there's a lot that we can potentially do with that. But everything we add to that room level save file runs the risk of making loading into a room more difficult, increasing crashes, stuff like that. So we have to kind of be pretty slow and steady with it. That could go really interesting places. Like if we ever want to look at like sharing costumes across the whole room instead of just a subroom, and like that's probably where that would live and stuff like that. So we want to put stuff in there just so we don't cut ourselves off later on cooler stuff.
Oh, interesting. Just like a little follow-up question on the benefits of a room-level save file, like you were mentioning. Would this be the functionality required to make things like a quest where you can carry your weapons across subrooms? Am I on the right track, or is it kind of a different thing?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one in particular. I think you could probably do that with persistent variables. What somebody has in their hand when they leave, and then give it, whenever we finally give you equip chips. I'm not sure when that's coming, but
yeah, I want to get into that a little bit closer. So I think you could construct something that would make it seem like you brought weapons across subrooms. Like you could store what weapon you had in a cloud variable, and then maybe only let the player in a room that had the weapon in the next room, but it's a little bit clunky. We don't have plans like on the calendar or anything to do equip chips right now. That would make it a little bit more elegant, where like you put the cloud variable, you put the data in your cloud variable, you go to the next room, you automatically equip the weapon right when the player enters the room. I think ultimately what we would like to do is make it so you could carry shapes, costumes, and a couple of other things across rooms. We've started to look into plans for that, but it's pretty far out. We don't have like a specific time that would be implemented. We're just doing some like tech investigation right now.
Yeah. Say that my build team at least is very excited for the prospects of being able to like spawn things in dynamically and having like not having to stuff every possible combination of equipped items in the room. We can dynamically say, oh, they just have a sword and a bow. We don't need to have 4 bows, 4 swords, and so on and so forth. Like, so that's kind of what we're anticipating, for sure.
All right. Now, the next topic I sort of wanted to go from there, and this is this is one that I've personally been attacked by. Trigger zones.
Tom.
Who decided to rename them?
Smelly.
I have no memory of
Who decided to name?
I'm going to blame Ryga because he isn't here and he's a nice guy.
Yeah,
so,
it might have been Ryga. I don't know. Easy.
I have no idea.
All right, we got our
It was
answer.
probably just whoever was typing into the Unity asset.
Get,
Like it was
get your
probably not a
pitchforks
yeah.
Yeah, just.
might
Oh my god. But no, seriously, like the renaming of trigger zones to trigger volumes, I don't know why, it just rattles my cage.
For those who need context, a long time ago, this was way back in Circuits V1, towards the beginning, I think, trigger volumes used to be called trigger zones, and a bunch of people still call them trigger zones, myself included. I actually didn't realize the name changed until later. So
I think it's like early last year, I think, or maybe. I'm not too sure. Some last year, I think it changed. Someone, don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, I think. Yeah, I think there was some post about it being changed, so I need to check that. But yeah, now that's sort of pretty much it for the history of Circuit 3.2 up until this point, which is, for what it wasn't that long, considering what's in store. So
was that
let's-
long.
On to the future.
It was so long. Yay!
Yeah, so apart from, Circuits V3, what's missing from Circuits V2?
Circuits V2.
So, there's quite a bit of stuff you can do in Circuits V1 right now that you can't do in Circuits V2 yet. And addressing all of that stuff is, obviously very important. We're focused right now on just bug fixing and quality stuff, and then after that we're hoping to push that parity with CV1 a little harder. But in terms of I know we got a lot of questions in advance about hey, will this chip be coming from CV1 to CV2? What about this chip? What about this chip? And that is that we want you to be able to do the same things in CV2 as you could in CV1, but it might not be exactly the same way to get there. It may not be a chip of the same name. It may look a little different, but we want you to be able to do the same things and more in CV2 as you could in CV1.
Yeah. So it's, pretty much you'll be doing the same thing, but sophisticated, but British. But yeah, so that's sort of a little bit about that as a creator. Having sort of what do you call it? Having that sort of access to all the tools that you could with Circuits V1, that is probably one thing a lot of creators want the most, apart from go-karts. But yeah, being able to do everything that you could in Circuits V1 is what a lot of us really want. And I see people all the time. Where's the game chip for Circuits V2? And I'm like, where's the where's the player hit chip? And it's it is a little sad, but knowing that eventually we will get there is what sort of excites a lot of us creators the most. Seeing how
and I'm pretty sure the day that Circuits V2 released, somebody had already built a cross-communication channel between the two systems so that they can have all the chips in CV1 in CV2 and vice versa.
Yeah.
So the game
That's how
now
badly
is
they
an
wanted
example
it.
of what I meant though, because I don't know that we're going to make a CV2. You're going to make all the pieces for people to make their own CV2 game chips, and then buff up the invention system so that'll work as a way to get equivalents to a game chip. But I don't think we're going to put out a CV2 game chip we had.
Yeah. Now, I do want to touch on the invention system as well. We'll get to that in a second. What I want to talk about first, though, is Circuits V2. So, while, it is our holy grail, it is our golden crab of crabs, I still really want to see some more improvements there, because there are a lot of problems, authority, networking, and accessibility. So being able to sort of cover all those problems as well, how do you, what is your plan for the future when it comes to those sorts of problems? So authority, networking, and accessibility. Those are the three main problems.
Which is that?
One of our main plans, at least with networking, is to just make it a little easier to tell what's going on. That seems like the first step of that problem, right?
Yeah.
Talia, go ahead.
I was going to add a more long-winded answer. We actually spent some time last week coming up with a set of principles for circuits to guide its development. I want to highlight those right here, and then I'll talk about how some of those might feed into the questions you're asking. So the first one is we want circuits to be elegant. We want to strike a balance between usability and capability. This might have to do with the accessibility that you're talking about. In other words, we want to build circuits for the novice while still empowering experts. And one of the ways we want to do that is by automating difficult concepts rather than dumbing them out. Second one, we want circuits to be productive. We want a little bit of effort to do a lot of work. So building should be an adventure, shouldn't feel like a chore. And if something should be done, must be done frequently, we want it to be able to be done quickly. Third one is reusability, and this has to do with the inventions. We want player creations to be indistinguishable from things in the palette. That means that inventions should be able to achieve the quality of content built in Unity. That means we will buff up our heat system, we will buff up our networking system, so that you guys have more resources to build the things you want. That way you can rely on each other for creations rather than always relying on us. The principle is friendliness. We don't want physicality to be a burden. In a normal programming language, you have things like functions, function calls, classes. We want
And with quick something.
expose as much information as necessary, but no more than that. So you
go
don't
to
want to
my
have
dorm room.
thousands of chips in the room if you only need to focus on a few of them. Finally, we want circuits to be obvious. We want to make sure that errors aren't hidden. If you have an error, you should know where and why, and finding a solution shouldn't require a PhD. Now, I'll repeat those principles one more time. Elegant, productive, reusable, friendly, and obvious. We're not saying that circuits is there today, but what we're going to do over the next year is move circuits in that direction. Of insight into our thinking about how we want to improve the system.
Is that design philosophy going to touch any of the existing chips that we have?
What we will probably do with existing chips, because we really want to maintain backwards compatibility, if we found out that there was a better way to do a light, for example, we'd probably just give you light v3 and then sort of hide light v2 in the palette. You'd still be able to use it. It would still be in inventions. We do this with chips when we get rid of them. But people would be encouraged to use light v3, and we wouldn't break any of the old rooms or inventions using light v2.
Got it.
Yeah, I just also want to say as well, a lot of my very early rooms, like my day one CV2 rooms, are horribly broken now, and you know, coming back to those rooms, you know, there is a bit of a balance there that you have to choose. Do I want this to work well? But I have to reconstruct it like 2 years later, or do I want this to, you know, or do I want this to work how it was initially? And you know,
I've got a quick question.
striking. Yeah, go ahead.
Are those beta rooms that are breaking?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
that goes
we
back
don't-
to what we want the beta promise to be, right? Where if you use
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
in beta, we reserve the right to break it. But if it's out of beta,
Yeah.
we're promising that it's not going to happen like that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, although I still did want to say, you know, striking that, like, in terms of that balance, I feel like the beta, like the whole beta chips section, pretty much all of that, like, that is pretty much what the balance is, you know, being able to go, okay, am I using a beta system? If yes, your room's going to break. If no, it should be fine, you know? So I feel like that pretty much sums it up. Is anybody else got anything more to add for that? No? Okay, so let's move on to inventions. Because I really want to, like, I feel like inventions is not only the future of CV2, but the future of creation in general. I know for those of you who were at Gridley's keynote, he mentioned, you know, one-click invention. So one-click dorm skins, where you just click a button units in your dorm, you know? And I feel
I
like...
can talk a little bit about that if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I can talk about inventions in terms of my aspirations for them. A lot of this is still not designed, it's just what I want it to be. As far as dorm skins go, that one in particular, I can talk about a little more concretely. I think we're just gonna, there'll be a new option that lets you attempt to spawn it wherever it was created. And in the dorm, that's gonna be looking for a point that we put there, like the center of the dorm basically. But there'll also be a component in the palette that you can spawn into the maker room somewhere and you can give it a unique name. And then you can still use that same system. So if you wanted to make, for example, a theater set for this room, and anybody who bought your template room could then buy your theater props and have them spawn on stage in exactly the right spot. You can set that up in the maker room too, using the same system. And then when you go into the invention info, there'll be a button that says spawn, and you can just click it without the maker room. And that should work for dorm skins too, because we really want to, like, that's the first thing people want to do, and that's such a good way into the creation system. That we want to let people kind of get to that magic before they go through all the work of learning the maker pen.
You could join. You could like watch this on your.
Yeah.
If you have rec room, you could just watch on your.
Oh no, you go ahead. You go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
As far as the rest of the invention system, like one of the first things we're going to try to add is versioning. Basically a way for the creators to push an update to an existing invention, and then it'll notify everybody who's bought it, and they can go download an updated one, and swapping it work.
Swapping it work. That is going on forever and ever and ever and ever, and 5 days later and ever. So like, yeah. I'm just gonna move on with the other stuff.
Okay, I'm leaving. Go ahead. I see a retcon thing. So I guess we'll just go ahead. Like no. Oh no, I just stay.
Beep beep baby bye bo beep 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 bo baby bo beep beep bap. Baby bo bo beep beep baby bo baby bo beep beep bap. Beep beep bo beep ba ba beep ba ya bo bo beep.
Why does it look like you listen to Kanye West, bro, every night when you go to sleep?
Kanye LeBron James. Bye.
I listen to the playlist every day.
Hey Bob.
Cross platform.
Hey Bob.
What?
Bob. How many coins you got?
Next.
Yeah. I got them.
Character lighting with in Unity with Cloud.
300. That's gone. That's all.
Wait, is this like a Q&A? Okay, guys. I'm on the Requiem YouTube channel. Watching nothing.
I don't know what's going on right now. Can you tell me? Is the event on right now? Why?
I entirely agree.
Yo, is the event on for you?
Nope.
Why are you guys still staring at me? I have no idea. What is brilliant, man? That's the thing. I have no idea. I think you're a girl because the eyelashes.
Okay, fine. Let's just keep watching.
I'm going to go to YouTube and watch.
Actually, this is enough of FutCon. Never mind. I'm
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
still going to be doing this.
So people should start to hear me now.
Gosh dang it.
Yep.
I only see his face.
Okay. So there's... Yeah. All right. Can everyone see me? Not broadcasting it.
Yep.
Great. Love it. Let's change the input. Oh, look at that. Yes. All right. Yeah. So can everyone in the other instances, can you see Unity, and then can you see me talking to you?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're getting a lot of yeses.
Yes.
I've seen this. This is great.
Yes, I can.
All right. I can't hear any of you, but if you guys have questions while this is coming through, feel free to ask them. I'm happy to answer them. We'll be Unity and character lighting specifically within Unity, and just character lighting in general in games. So yeah, I decided to take a little bit of different approach instead of just focus on Rec Room and focus more on game development for this panel. So So yeah, we're going to be doing more of a deep dive into character lighting. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a little bit technical. It's going to require a little bit of prior knowledge for Unity or any kind of 3D app. If you have a basic knowledge of that, it's gonna help. But then also, these are fundamental concepts and theories that apply to everything. So it applies to Rec Room. It applies to other game engines like Unreal and Unity. It applies to any 3D application like Blender, Maya, any of those fun ones. And it even works for a 2D painting as well. So so first off, like who am I? Like I am the art director for Rec Room, so I help build out how Rec Room is looking, the style and the vibe that it all has. So that's who I am, and we have a lovely moderator. Do you want to do a quick introduction for yourself?
Yeah. I'm O'Reilly. I'm the lead design for community here at Rec Room, and I'm going to be asking questions.
But yeah, so what is lighting in games? So on my monitor, you can see I've got Unity open over here, and what is lighting in games? So like lighting is very simply throwing all the lights on top of the game. So like if I had no lighting in the game, like this, I would have basically let's put this to 0. Yeah, I would basically have a black character in the game, and it'd have no lighting information at all on top of it. And so what really lighting is doing is it's painting light on top of whatever your meshes are, whether it's a 3D mesh or a 2D mesh or a 2D, and it's giving it shape and color on top of that. So really without lighting, you really have nothing in a game. So lighting really brings everything to life in a game. So I'm going to walk through like what some of these, how we should be setting it up in Unity, and let's start with there. So yeah, so I have a basic scene, which is there's really nothing in it. It's just got a character in it. It's got a camera, and it's got some lighting in it. So there's really not a lot in here. For Unity, there's a few ways that you can start lighting characters, and one is going to be in the lighting tab. So you just get this by going to let's see, yeah, window, rendering, light settings. It's going to pull up in this lighting tab right here. And what this is saying is, how do you want to define the environment that you're in right now? So you can start to do some very simple things like, oh, I want an ambient color, and the ambient color is just driving this. But you'll see that it's a very washed out effect. You're kind of going to get like something that is feeling pretty bland. And so we can start to get some gradients on top of it if we can use Skybox or find these. So one thing I like to do is just take all these to black down here, and then you can start to build them up. So you can start to say, oh, there's like a little bit of ground light, there's a little bit of equator light, and then maybe there's a lot of skylight. So now it's got kind of more of a gradient from the top down. So now you can see, we've gone from one that is completely flat to now there's some gradient across it. So that's just the ambient light or the environment lighting of the scene. From there, you can kind of start to use reflection maps. So reflection probes are pretty standard in almost every single game engine. They're all in Rec Room too as well. And so these are basically just, how much reflections do you want? You want like a ton of reflections and they turn into kind of like a shiny mirror ball, or no reflections and they're kind of feeling kind of flat. So you kind of want something between. So you can dial this in to make it feel a little bit better. So again, this is just environment lighting, so it's just for the world itself. It's not really specific to the character, but we're using it to define the basics of the character. On top of that, we have fog. I'm not going to go too far into fog, mostly because it's more useful for environment lighting, or environment world building, and less important for character stuff. So I'll just leave it on default for now. The next things we have are our camera over here. So is going to be in the scene right here, and this is basically the view through which we're going to look at our character. So as we look through the camera, we're kind of defining, hey, how is this actually going to, what angle, what composition do we want this character to be in? You can see the little preview down here.
Please don't subscribe.
That's our camera. So everything is going to be our focal point of, or the portrait to paint this picture. Next, we're going to have some lighting. So this is just a lighting group with a few.
Oh my God! Add that to red group. Add that to red group.
So this is what we have with nothing, and then I'm going to start to turn them on. So we have our key light, a fill light, a rim light, and then another. We're going to talk about these different types of lights in a second. But yeah, so this is a pretty simple 4-point light setup for this character, and the important thing is every single something doing something important for this composition, for this character. So every light is playing a role, and no light is. Just minimize that. Every light is playing a role, and no lights are being wasted in this one. So that is some of the Unity stuff. So there's two ways to use lights, usually within a game engine or another 3D program, and that is either to use baked lights or real-time lights. And so these are real-time lights, and the real power of a real-time light is I can just take let's see. I can take a light right here, and I can just move it around in real time, and I'm going to get updates and results of that in real time. So it's fantastic for doing stuff that is live and dynamic, and you're really looking for direct. So that's the real magic of real-time lighting. It is a little bit more expensive than baked lighting, but baked lighting is very you're kind of stuck in whatever you bake. So you can't do anything else with the baked lighting. Once you bake it, it's kind of, that's what you get. So we're mostly going to be focused on real-time lighting since it's so iterative in this one for the time that we have. But that is going to be that. So for our first light, just to understand what lights even are in Unity, let's take a look at what are we even dealing with here. So for a few lights, we have quite a few things going on. So we have what do we want it to be? Do we want it to be a spotlight, a directional light, and a point light? So a directional light is kind of more like the sun.
No. Is this also how outfits? Yes, I hope.
It's going to create more of a sunlight effect on here. I'm going to turn the rest of these off. So this is your classic sunlight. This would be a spotlight, kind of like a flashlight, and then a point light would be kind of like an omni light, one that kind of creates a big sphere around it. So these are spotlights and point lights and sunlights are the main ones that are in Rec Room right now. There's an area light. It's for baked only. It's not useful in this situation. I'll go back to spots. Spots easiest to understand. It's got a point where it starts and then it ends down here. I can take this and increase the range, which is here. So how far is the light going? What is the angle of the light coming out?
You could try
what is the color of the light? What's the intensity of the light? And then this is for baked, so we don't need to worry about that. And just go to this intensity. So we want brighter light. We can do all that. There's also so you see this. You should tell it to cast no shadow or cast a hard shadow. Hard shadows are a little bit cheaper to render, but
I want
they're
token.
gonna look a little
F in chat.
crunchy.
No.
So we'll just leave that as soft shadow since that has some pretty pleasing results. You can say how much strength you want the shadow to have.
Okay.
And then a few,
What's
these are just kind of adjusting the shadow maps after they've been made. So those are a few fine-tuning tools that you can use. Another thing is the near clip plane. So this clip plane right here is a near plane. So anything that is before it over here will not render in the light. So I can take this clip plane and I can put it past. Sorry, for the shadow map, it will not render a shadow. And so I'm going to pull it back, and you can see. So only within this range and this range will the shadow map be generated.
Whoa, what?
So yeah, that's shadows for here.
Hello.
And then the last bit is just some custom stuff we have on top, so we can kind of contribute how much of an influence certain other attributes are going to have on it. In this one particular everything about a light in Unity. And this is a very basic primitive, so you can generate a light just by going to right-click, light, spotlight, and it's going to just generate one of these very basic light types for you. So that is the basic light. And all I've done here is I've made a scene with a character, and I have a few lights, 4 lights set up, and all of them are kind of revolving around the character. All right, so that's all the properties of the light.
I have a question from someone out there who. I have a question. They want to know if you could tell them how glow-in-the-dark outfits work.
Oh yeah, glow-in-the-dark outfits. That's a great question. It's more of a material property than lighting itself. So what I can do here is I'll switch over to or maybe I'll pull up. Let's see. I think we're like Galaxy Hoodie. Let's see. So the railgun just came out. Or here. It's like the Galaxy one. So the way that works is we have 2 hoodies right next to each other. One is kind of glow in the dark. The other one is not. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn this one off. And you'll see that this one is kind of glowing a little bit over here. And all that's being generated by that is mostly the emission property of this particular material that was authored. So you'll see that the brighter it is, it's going to be more glow in the dark, and then you can turn it off completely. Set to 0, and it's just going to be a set the color black. There you go. So it's just going to be a standard hoodie at that point with no glow in the dark. So what glow in the dark is it's driving the emission factor of a material property, which is defined by a texture. And all that information to make it into a glow in the dark.
Well, I'm learning
feeling.
stuff.
Yeah, great question.
Great question.
All right. Let's see. So what else? So let's go into the basic theory. Like, what makes great lighting? And where do you start? Like, how do you even start? You can just start fumbling and adding some stuff around and rotating a few lights around to get something that feels good. But you might be wasting a lot of time trying to do it looks good from this side, or maybe we want it to be a little bit higher or lower for a spooky angle. All that you can make a lot of choices with lighting, since there's a ton of different choices you can make. So the main thing that we will talk about and dive into is 3-point lighting. And 3-point lighting is really the foundation of almost all cinematic lighting. Whether it's in movies, animated movies, it's really been the foundation of lighting for a long time. And so what is it? So 3-point lighting is basically a kind of a formula you can use to light a character. And it can be remixed in a million different ways to make something compelling. So the first thing we have is a camera that is here, and actually I'm going to just reload the scene. Okay. So what we have is the camera, and this is kind of our focal point. So everything is kind of based off of the camera. So you really want to establish your camera first, because you know, if you let's not go on that angle. If you look behind, you know, like you may have. I'm going to make very different lighting choices if have a camera angle like this versus a camera angle like this. Like everything is built around the camera that you're shooting from, or the direction, the view direction of the person. So the main thing is, I'm going to turn off all these lights. So we have our camera. The next thing we want to do is put in our first light, and this is called our key light. And the key light is usually going to be offsetted from the camera. So we have our camera here, right here. This is the, let me just go a little bit easier. Okay, so we have our camera in this direction, right here. That's our main direction. And then we're going to have our key light. And generally you want a key light off to one side of your, it can be either side, it doesn't really matter. It's kind of like where do you want to establish your main lighting from? And so what the key light is going to do is, like, this is the main light. So you can think of it as like the main source of the scene. It could be the sunlight, it could be a moonlight, it could be a lantern, it could really be anything. It is the main focal point of your lighting. It would be the brightest source to establish the direction of your scene. So let's just kind of put the light the camera like this, right here. It's going to create a very flat image. It's not really going to give me a whole lot of interest at all. I've kind of just set the camera up so they're basically parallel to each other. So we've got the camera here, and they're a little bit off, but they're pretty close to each other. And it's creating a pretty flat character. So I'm going to push it to one side, maybe raise it up a little bit, get out of the way, get a little bit more of a grading on there. So now I have a nice, pleasing 3/4 angle coming from the top, and that's going to be what I'm going to base everything else off of. So that's the key light. The next one is going to be your fill light, and the fill light always complements the key light. So if it's strong direction from over here, we want to complement with a counter angle with the fill light. So the fill light, I'm going to isolate it and bring it in. So here's our fill light. So fill light, again, it's going to be counter to the key light, and usually they can all be different colors. It doesn't really matter. If you want to do it's every color. So we've got our warm tone, and we've got a little bit of a cooler tone, and so that's going to be our complementing light. So key lights establish direction, and fill lights support that direction. The next one we have is a rim light right here. And so what this is going to do is, it can be on either side. It could be it could be supporting the fill or supporting the key. Either one works. And what it's going to do is it's going to kind of pop the character out a little bit. So I'm just going to exaggerate a little bit just so you can see. And what I'm looking for is the edges of the character to be popped out a little bit more. So as it comes, maybe I want this to come up a little bit more, kind of work more on the hair, since that's going to be a little bit of the focal point. So now you can see it's giving it a nice rim on the character's face. This is called rim lighting right here. Just a little bit more separation from the background. If you don't have it, the character can feel a little bit flat and can kind of go into the background a little bit more. So that's the basics of 3-point lighting. You can put them all together, and what you're going to get is a pleasing composition of a key light, a fill light, and a rim light, and all of them are going to work harmoniously together to create a nice composition. Now again, the rim light can be on the other side as well, so you can flip it over to this one as well, and it's still gonna work the same way as the other one. I'm getting a little bit of a specular hotspot on this one, so I may kind of change it a little bit just to push it off. And so yeah, so maybe I'll pull it back a little bit more. And so now the rim light's working on the other side as well. And we still have a 3-point light setup. So when you look at it from above, has the reason why it's called a 3-point light setup is because we have 3 lights that are working with the camera. This key light, fill light, and the rim light. And they're all kind of working like a triangle to create this composition with the camera. That is the basics of 3-point lighting. It is used everywhere, all the time. If you look at any movie, any film, any game, it's used almost everywhere. So once you see it or understand it, you're going to see it used basically everywhere. I'm going to put the rim on the other side. So the other one is you can always add another rim light on the other side, and that's going to this would be a 4-point light setup, but it's still following the same rules. So I'm just going to put it maybe down here and swing it back to this side. Like that. Pull it back a little bit. And then, so now I have my rim light on my other side, my fill light, and then my main key light. But yeah, and so those, you can still do the same thing with this one. So yeah, so that's the 3-point lighting theory. If anyone has any questions on that, please let me know. It's a very simple concept that can be very powerful as well. All right.
Does camera field of view matter?
It does. I mean, it's kind of, back to the original thing of like, hey, what do you want the foundation of this to be? So we have a camera over here. This field of view is set to 60 right now. So if I want a flatter image, I'm gonna bring this down a little bit like that. I'm just gonna flatten it. I'm just gonna rotate the camera up a little bit. So now we have a little bit of a flatter composition. It's fine. I just may make a few different choices on that one. I don't a whole lot for the field of view, but it is gonna. I would probably try to establish this first to lock this down, since you want to have your camera figured out before you do all your lighting. Do you
have a recommendation on camera field of view in particular?
It really depends. Like it's like using a camera for when you're shooting on location or something like that. So there's a ton of different lenses for cameras. You could keep it at, I would just play around with it and see what works for your composition. If you're feeling like it's a documentary and you want to feel a little bit closer to the subject, pull in a little bit tighter and get a flatter lens on there. If you're kind of pulling back and you're doing something with a little bit more action oriented, or like skating videos are notorious for this one. Want like more of a fisheye look. I'll need to pull the camera in on this one to make it look like a fisheye. Yeah, so this would be more of a fisheye look. Of exaggerating the proportions and stuff like that. This is great for if you want to see more of the character or see more of the action. Yeah, it really depends on there is no recommendation, because it's what fits for your composition.
Cool. I had another question that was, is Unity the same way that you make characters in the game? Or is it the same way that our players make characters in the game? The characters that you create in Unity, do you do it the same way as in the game?
I don't know if this question is in regards to costumes. It might be in regards to costumes, but the costume system is similar to the way that we do it in Unity, but we use use Maya and Blender and Photoshop to generate all the meshes and stuff. So there's a lot more of a setup that goes into it, which can take a bit longer. We provide you a lot of the fundamental tools in Rec Room to make that, whether it's modeling, simple textures, lights. So the clothing is similar in concept, but different in execution. Yeah, good question.
Cool. I have another one. Do you have a program that you would recommend for beginners? Would you tell them to go directly into Unity, or is there some other beginner program that they should start learning?
It depends on what you're doing. So if you want to get into just 3D creation, there's lots of great programs like Maya and Blender, 3D Studio Max. I think Blender is great because it's free. You can jump in there and start to play with some modeling, play with some rendering. So Blender is great for that. I use Blender. I'm a fan of that as well. I've used Maya as well. Like they're both great tools. And then for Unity, I would recommend Unity or Unreal if you want to create a game or kind of play with the game creation side of it. Both are really great programs. I think if you want to get going faster, like just out of the box, I think Unreal will probably get you there. If you want to kind of do something a little bit more custom and play around with some stuff and really kind of like do your own thing, then I think Unity is really great for that. There's a ton of tutorials on both of the game engines, and I think they're both great. So I would recommend whatever one is compelling for you to jump into it.
Yeah, you can learn how to use Unity really well just from watching a lot of YouTube videos, right? There's a lot out there.
Oh yeah. There's so many tutorials out there. It's fantastic. I love
free.
It. I love.
Yeah,
it's all free. It's fantastic. Yeah.
I have a question about the game specifically. When are we getting back dynamic shadows in the game for our creators to use?
Oh, dynamic shadows. So you do get them with the Sunlight chip. The problem with game engines and shadows are one of the most expensive things that game engines render. Lights can be expensive. Shadows are by far the most expensive thing. So you'll see us using them in our content. So we have to be very careful with how we use them because they are so expensive. So they're very optimized and placed in a way so they're not overlapping as much, or we're only rendering a very small number of them at once. So we can kind of get away with that. We're still trying to figure out a way to, with one of the lighting updates, I think it was called Let There Be Light, we were able to give you tons of lights. You can render, that was fantastic. But if we exposed shadows, it would just kind of make everyone kind of crash at that point. So we're trying to figure out a way to, we want to support, have to think of
My
a
grandmother went poop because
that
I
doesn't make
pooped
everyone
in
crash.
AutoCAD.
So we want it. We'll get there eventually. We don't have a solution yet, but I think it'd be really awesome if we could expose shadows or lights. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that.
Cool.
Okay,
there was a question about when do you use shaders?
1, 4, 3, 2.
Shaders are when you want to deviate from whatever the normal setup is. So this is an example of, hey, this is a character and it's got a hoodie on, and we're using a very standard shader on this one. It's got a diffuse or a texture on top of it, and it has a specular component, which is the shininess of it, and then it has a normal map, which is going to give it some of the bumps and dips. That's like a very basic shader, and then on top of that, you may want to layer in more, or something custom. So that would be, for example, when I showed you the Galaxy hoodie with the mission slot, that's going to be switching over to so use all different types of shaders. So we had a mission one for this, and let's see. So here's the Galaxy hoodie. Oh, this isn't going to work, but I'll just delete this for now. and make this dark, so it's black. So this would be when you start to use shaders, is when you're like, oh, I want this to glow or use some other property on there. It can get really wild. Like shaders are, you know, you could put like a tree shader on it. And then shaders are also, let's see if that worked. I should probably turn off the body, but there's, let's see, amplitude, wavelength. It's not going to work, but this is like one of our tree shaders, and I'm throwing it onto a hoodie, so you can see it's displacing the mesh underneath it. So that's one way that you could use a shader. It's like, hey, you want some kind of effect on here that's doing something that's deviating from the standard. You just have to be careful with it because shaders get expensive really fast. That's all. Yeah, good question.
Yeah, good question. Definitely.
Sorry. Do you have to know how to program to use Unity?
No, you don't. It depends on what you're doing, though. So, you know, I'm mostly focused on the art side and the art pipelines within Unity. And it really depends, you know, if you're making a game by yourself, yeah, you probably need to know how to program. If you're working with the team and you can collaborate, you probably don't. So it's kind of like in Rec Room when you want to make a room. Somebody may focus on the circuits of the room, and somebody else may focus on the art or the modeling of the room. So both of those can be harmonious together. Or you could have a creator that just does both, and they're a powerhouse.
Creator that just.
But as you see like teams get bigger, usually it gets people focus on a certain skill set.
Cool. And I believe Unity is free, right? There's a free version of Unity that you can pick up and just start working with. Yeah.
Yeah, you can just use the free version, and that's great for you just want to jump in and try things out. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. I got a few other examples in here, just to show. So we got our standard one that I kind of worked you through, and then just these are all using the same 3-point lighting concept. So I'll just jump into another example. So this would be the same thing, except, you know, push it to more blue. Maybe I'm trying to go for something like a little bit more of a moonlight kind of scene over here. So you'll see you can get kind of the same effect out of, let me turn down this, yeah. So yeah, you can get kind of the same effect out of the 3-point lighting, but you can really switch it around to something different.
Why did I teleport back to the spawn
angles? Get kind of more of a moonlit scene out of it. Still using the same fundamental theory that I showed you earlier with the other one, but drastically different results. And the same thing with this. If I want to do the same thing, I could get, you know, something really wild using the same theory. So if I want to go something maybe, you know, a classic kind of an 80s look, or, you know, pink and blue, whether it's kind of like a sci-fi kind of look, Blade Runner or Jumbotron kind of look, you can get that too. So this is still using the exact same stuff. It's just applied with different values. So the same formula, just remixed every single time. All right.
Cool. Looks like I'm out of questions.
Oh, great. Nice. So, yeah, I'll just work through how I would make a scene. So I'll kind of build this from the ground up, and then we'll and feel free to keep some questions coming. I can feel free to. I'll be happy to answer them as I do this. But so I want to start lighting the character from scratch. I'm just going to start with a camera over here. So I'm going to lock down my camera and be like, okay, you know, I kind of want, maybe someone will suggest, maybe want something flatter, maybe it's like 30. I'm going to try to focus more on the character's face, maybe. Okay. And, oh, I wanted to do, no, that's fine. I can do that. Okay, so I got all my lights off right now. Again, I want to build this up from scratch, so I'm gonna turn everything off. Okay, this reflection probe is feeling really intense for me, so maybe I want something that's, I don't know, a little bit different. I'm gonna pick a different different reflection probe. Let's turn this back up. Try to find something that feels picking a probe in the other scene. So I don't know. This is kind of fun. Maybe I want some green on the other side of them. So I'll use this as a starting point. It seems interesting. Next, I'm going to add back in the gradients. This is the environment lighting. So I'm going to keep this to nothing for right now. I'm going to bring up the ground. So this is my ground bounce. And maybe I kind of want this to be a little bit in the warmer region, a warm bounce from the ground.
Okay.
I'm just doing some subtle changes in here. Bring this up. This is just a foundation that I'm going to build upon later. Okay, and now I've got the top portion over here. And so maybe let's kind of figure out what color we want. Maybe I kind of want something. Green can look a little sickly when it's kind of across the entire face, so I may want to push it to something maybe a little more, or get some more of a sky feeling in there. So I'm gonna that. And then I'm feeling like my camera is too down on the head, so I'm gonna pitch it up a little bit. So let's see. Yeah, so I just want to feel the head a little bit more. Okay, cool. So I got my character here. So I feel like, okay, this is fine. I'm gonna keep this position. Okay, so let's see. Do I have anything else left? I could work with the center one, but I feel like it's gonna flatten it out too much. So I'm gonna leave it pretty dark for now and just let the top and the bottom do most of the work. And then we have fog over here, but again, like I said, this character is so shallow, it's really not going to apply too much. It's just kind of doing a little bit of a wash on top of them. So I can kind of reduce that a little bit more. I'll leave it like that. Okay, so last bit is the lighting component. So I'm going to turn all these off because these are old lights. I want to do something new. We do have Ssfx here, which I didn't talk about. So this is kind of more of compositing, but this is kind of, or some color grading. This is kind of, so you can see a little bit of AO in here. And we're hoping to get AO for everyone else in the game. We're still working on getting that across. So these are your basic color grading stuff. So this is like Instagram filters, basically. So I can say like, hey, I want more contrast, less contrast.
Okay.
This would be more contrast, less contrast, more exposure, less exposure, warmer temperature, cooler temperature, all those stuff that you can play with. We can't do this on every platform. It doesn't work on most platforms, so you have to be careful with how we use it. All right, so let's do the key light. Turn on the key light. Okay, we've been playing with this side quite a bit, so maybe I want to kind of play with something. I do like how the shadows, so like one thing that I use a lot for key lights is the shadows. Like this is your main shadow light. So really think of how your shadows are playing across the surface. Like this looks weird, when you're doing it down like this. So I wouldn't choose a down angle for a key light. You can if you want to do like an ominous or mysterious kind of evil kind of thing, but I don't think it's going to work for this one. So I kind of want something that's plain. So kind of like that. Maybe I'll do something like there. It would just start with something like that. That's, I don't know. You don't have to be married to them off your decisions right now, but you can always do some slight adjustments later. So maybe I kind of wanted to go into like a little bit of a burning sunset kind of look. So I'm gonna tune it for something like this. That's feeling good. I'm gonna just dial in the intensity of just this light right there. Okay, that's kind of cool. I like how that's looking. So I'm going to turn this one off, and I'm going to work on my fill light next. So earlier I kind of had this kind of green kind of thing going on. So I'm going to maybe I'm going to play with that, get a little bit of a green tone going on this side. And green can be a very dangerous color to use, so careful how you use it, because it's a risky color. So I want to make sure I'm kind of coming from the downside. I like the fills to have gradients across the faces, so I'm going to try to use, this would be, a very faceted side on this one, so I want to try to push it more to be across the face to let that gradient kind of be a little bit more natural. And then maybe want to kind of pull this down a little bit. It doesn't need to be super high. So kind of trying to complement that that probe that I had in there. So, okay, I could kind of start with that. See where that goes. Okay, I'm going to bring in the rim light over here. So again, we had something that was kind of on the top, so I'm going to bring it up. And I really like how it's hitting this hair right here. So I might keep it something like this. So we're trying to like use it kind of like a hair light, kind of pop out the character from the background a little bit more. Something like this. Okay. And now when you're using a rim light like that, you kind of want it to be in harmony with the key light. So I'm going to take this color and just paste it over to my rim light. Now they're kind of like feeling a little bit more cohesive of the same light source. But I'm going to take this, one thing that's really nice about hot spots and lights is you're getting hotter, so we're getting, closer to the light source as we go across the face. So it's pretty good to, you can kind of drop your saturation down a little bit like that and that's going to make it feel a little bit brighter as it goes across the face, and instead of it being just a uniform color. So you'll see that just by dropping your saturation a little bit, you're getting more of a hot spot being pushed up the face of this. So that's going to work too. And then I might want to rebalance this a little bit more to be a little bit hotter or something like that. So that's the key light and the rim light working together. Kind of add back in the fill light. It's adding this kind of green spill over here. And then maybe I want to just try to like really kick up that green to sell it. So I'm just going to copy that color and paste it into this rim light here and work with the final rim light and swing it over to the other side. Let's see, just here, and then bring it across on this side. And so I'm noticing it's giving me a lot of spill on this side, so I may switch it over to Spotlight. And let's see. I may try to cast a shadow on there. I don't know if I can do it with this one. Let's try. The near plane, we are. Okay, so I just needed to bring the near plane up. That was one of the problems, was it was too far back, so I'm going to bring it up. And that's really going to give me the shadows of that light. So now I can kind of play this a little bit more because I got the shadows coming in. So maybe I kind of want something like this. kind of like how that's looking. So maybe I'll turn down the intensity, and we're going to just kind of rebalance everything after it's in here. This is feeling like pretty strong on here, so I may try to take this light and just try to like play with the angle of it right here. And so what that's going to do is give me a little bit more of a gradient that I can play. So you see how that gradient is kind of coming up. So maybe I want to push it more, instead of it being across the whole face, I kind of want it just to be on the top of the face. So now I get a slight gradient on the top. So that's one way you can do it. All right, so we've got this going on right now. So maybe I might go back to the Ssfx and kind of just play with a little bit of the final values to make it feel a little bit more natural. So I don't know, do I want to go warmer? Do I want to go cooler? I feel like maybe just a tad warmer might be good on this one. Go a little bit brighter on the composition. I did like it. I did like that contrast. So I'm going to keep it a little bit high. So we got some basic color grading balls down here. So this is going to be our low values. So black. So maybe I want, since we got a strong green on the dark side, so maybe I'll just go slightly green, or maybe to balance out the green a little bit. So let's do a little bit of blue. I'm going to keep this kind of warm and saturated in the midtones. That will complement the skins pretty well. And then we kind of lift the highlights a little bit to get brighter highlights, a little bit brighter range. And I think that's kind of like a good first pass that I would take at this one. So yeah, does anyone have any questions or anything else you want answered about character lighting in Unity?
There was a question about showing any scene lighting. Do you have time to show scene lighting?
Yeah, I can do some. What is this? Yeah, so like environment lighting and character are pretty different from each other. So environment lighting could be a whole other topic, but I can show you some. Let's do quest hallway. This is our very classic. Sure, I'll say that. Our very classic quest hallway 1, which is kind of what everyone's kind of knows really well and has played a whole bunch of times. So let's go in here. Okay, so if your first things you want to do for environment lighting is you have to think of the camera differently. The way I think of the camera for environment lighting is the first person's perspective is the camera. So your camera's kind of on rails where everything is composed to this view as you're moving through the scene. So you want to make your choices to guide the player forward. So we've got a strong light going this way. We've got the shadows that are angling and telling the person to go forward. We have set dressing that's complementing that with the wires and everything.
Guys, I'm sorry I had to do that. It's just that I have to like go to this YouTuber Q&A part 1. I don't know how it's part 1. Anybody there? Like, really, is anyone here? I'm just gonna wait. I'm literally a YouTuber first. Yeah.
Oh, you're broadcasting. You're on push. Can I hear Mav?
Can you guys hear me?
Did I? Oh, you're muted from Red
That's
Olympics.
shady. That's a lot of shade.
That's
a lot of shade, pal.
You know what? No wonder you've been so
We've been in this
quiet
room for
ever
like
since.
an hour
I know,
already.
he's very
and you
pensive.
didn't notice?
Very pensive. All right.
She was nice. She's like, it's so nice.
Not I to talk now because we're broadcasting. Mav, hold on.
My feelings aren't hurt.
There you go. Oh, there's Mav, you guys. We hear Mav. I hear Mav. You've probably been hearing Mav.
Guys, I want to
All right, next up is... Look at the chat. All right, let's go.
PVR. I can't open
Ssfx. Tidal Wave.
What the
heck?
This is crazy. Chat's going insane.
All right.
Oh, whoa. Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, we'll
The
give it
chat's
a
flying
moment.
past.
Hey, let me know if you guys...
I didn't know where my name was.
Yeah.
All the time.
I don't know what I was going to say. Like, pick a letter and spam it, okay? Let's go with, like, O. Everyone's spamming it.
Man, we're going to get banned.
Oh, look,
Everyone's saying, oh, now.
It's all
Yeah.
There's so many people.
All right. All right. All right, everyone.
Hilarious.
Wait, we're waiting on Ty. I don't see Ty's thing yet. Can you accept it, please? Go back in there.
Go to this event. Wait. Hey,
There we go.
I need to do it. I believe
All
it.
right. All right. Are we ready?
There we go.
Now it's time for the YouTube live stream. Go into my YouTube.
Oh, I got you now. Oh, wait, hold it. Yeah, that's... Wait. No gifts. Okay. Once You you guys bet what it always is.
have your gifts off. Film. I bet it's
It's starting to
not
pop
film.
up.
Dawn film. Sepia.
I'm betting black and white.
Oh, it's black and white.
It is black and white. It looked like Sepia.
You owe yourself film
I think it's
because
black
you got it right.
Hey, bro.
All right, Alice, can you
Here,
put
you know
the
what?
camera
Sure.
on the audience real quick? Put the...
I should be up
Thank
there.
you.
Cyboric. Zero vibes over here.
No, genuinely.
Hello, everybody.
live?
In other
This
instances.
is so exciting. It's
Hello,
hard to
people in
comprehend
other-
how many
Yes,
people
weird.
are collectively here right now.
Can a whole
Yeah.
bunch of people
A lot
start
of-
jumping right here in other instances? All the invisible people. Like right here, can everybody
Like
just
there are
start jumping?
thousands of people that vote with you.
Right. I hope
Say hi to
Just like
people that say
streaming,
hi in
you know?
chat.
They're just
Their names.
Yeah, but it's different when it's like physical, you know.
How many?
All right. Okay,
Wait, dude,
guys.
1,300.
Hello, 1,000.
Oh my
Right.
gosh. Hey guys.
I can't
that's
get out the ground. What's happening? Hold on. Oh,
Yeah, it
Run
it
off.
holds you there.
Yeah, that happened.
Boys.
hey, everybody. We're just testing out some
Yeah, let's go.
new levels. Some new levels
That's
tonight.
from my memory.
What's going on?
Man.
Get me.
Oh, I can't.
Up. All right, we're gonna. You know what?
We're good.
This is fun. Hold on.
Can you fly?
About me.
Just swim.
I'm gonna swim. I'm gonna swim.
If you go off stage
Can
and
they
come back,
see
it should
exactly
fix
our
it.
animations and everything?
Yeah.
I
let's see
did.
everything.
Oh yeah.
Everything.
Let's try that. Thank you.
So
Thank
they
you.
just see her just
Pro.
chilling on the ground over there?
Do that.
Do this. Classic.
What's up, guys?
Atlas, thank
hey,
you.
Guys. Hey guys, hey,
I was
you
changed.
guys
I was
over
on
there?
like lockdown.
That's so weird.
Okay. Hey guys, we're gonna start the live stream. The camera,
All right.
we're on streamer camera mic, so we're all equally. Our volumes are equal. So we're gonna kick it off with the intro. And please, when you guys do your intros, make sure to also remind folks if they perhaps don't see everyone broadcasted or can't hear certain guests to please tune into the live stream. So do your intro in case you're the ones that everyone can see. Okay. All right. Atlas has him on the audience. Let me check the audio.
Mav, I think you're a little bit.
Am I?
Yeah.
It might be me.
You could try push to talk.
I just lowered my volume a little bit.
Oh,
Is that better?
Yep.
Ah!
Yeah, you're good.
Now I can't hear myself.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much.
Great test. Yeah.
All right. We are looking good. Yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the YouTubers and Influencers panel here. We're so happy to have you guys join us on live stream. And however many there are of you in-game. Lots of you are in-game. So many in-game. I would love to get that number from who might happen to know how many people are watching us right now. Host, pow! And we're going to do a quick round of intros and kick this off. All right, to my left, go ahead and kick it off. Introduce yourselves, and you got the floor. Let's go.
Okay. I am V-Bunny. You can find me on YouTube, you can find me on TikTok, you can find me on Instagram. You can Google V-Bunny Go and everything will pop up. Also, if you can only see me and hear me and you can't see everybody else on the panel, you can go to Rec Room's YouTube because they are live streaming there as well.
And nobody
Cool.
cares.
Hi, I'm BVR. I make Rec Room videos. Pretty cool. Yeah. If you can't hear me or see, or if you can't hear or see everyone on the panel, room stream because they're going to be showing all that.
Yeah, right on. Hey y'all, Ssfx here. I'm a VR content creator. I play Rec Room, play all kinds of VR games. If you cannot hear me, if you're not going to hear everybody else, head over to Rec Room's live stream. You should be able to hear everybody, see everybody. But yeah.
What's up, guys? I am Tidal Wave. And I do a lot of like community videos on Rec Room, like going around, like doing funny moments or playing games and stuff. That's usually multiplayer. But if you guys cannot hear anybody else, tune in to the live stream on the Rec Room channel. It's nice seeing you all. Now in VR.
That was my intro already done. No, I'm just kidding. Hey guys, my name is I'm Mavin VR, and I'm a content creator, Rec Room content creator, and League player. And if you can't hear anybody, in the on stage, then please go check out the live stream on Rec Room's channel. Yeah.
Can you shut up about Rec Room's channel? I literally told everybody.
All right, thank you guys so much for letting
and
know.
now they won't even hear it again.
One more time, go ahead and tune in right now, because we're going to begin. So now that everyone's tuned in to the live stream, just in case they need it, please go ahead and share a little bit about where people can find you on social media and something about yourself that perhaps is like an iconic thing you want to know. We'll start with VB, and we'll go down the line. Let's go.
Okay. Again, you can search V-Bunny Go on YouTube, and you can find me. You can also search V-Bunny Go on TikTok. You can find me on Instagram. It's VBunny_Go. And something iconic about me, I think, is that I am a mom. I do have 2 kids, and I have an amazing husband who's on team with me. So we do this together.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I've got 2 channels, Billabob and BVR. BVR is the one where I make all the Rec Room content, though, and that is where I have a show called Rec Room Roundup. I basically talk about news and all the cool new stuff coming to the game. It's pretty cool, so you should check out BVR if you want to hear all the latest and such with Rec. I also just do various other videos about Rec Room. I do some tutorials, I do some more gameplay community stuff. I just do whatever I think is fun, basically, but Rec Room Roundup and the news is kind of my main thing, so yeah,
right on. So, I'm Ssfx Gaming. You can find me essentially anywhere. Ssfx Gaming, whether it be Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all over the socials. Same name everywhere. I make mostly Let's Plays or like comedic gameplays, and I've got a mad obsession with tacos. Yeah.
Alright, well, hello. You guys can find my Instagram, VR_TidalWave. I usually post like my favorite clips on the Instagram channel, and I recently started TikTok, just posting this thing in there. If you guys want to go check it out, it's VR Tidal Wave. funny moments and usually community things. So.
Hey guys, and I'm Mav. I think I already said that the first time, but I'm Mav. You guys can find me on Instagram. I actually also just recently started doing TikTok. I think me and Ty actually kind of started around the same time. So,
Nice.
yeah, check us out there. I have a Twitter. I really hardly ever use Twitter. I'm really bad at Twitter. I have no idea what I'm doing there for some reason. And yeah.
I love it. Thank you guys so much for the intros. All right, you guys. I want you guys to know. So we're gonna go ahead and start a round of questions that we all kind of worked on together. But you guys are free to definitely ask some questions. We'll be checking out chat and. Well, so you could put questions in the YouTube chat, and we'll try to. It seems like that might be the best place because the watch chat's pretty fast. It's a little too speedy for us to catch your questions there. So please head over to the YouTube live stream and type questions there. So the pace is a little bit better for us. Okay, awesome. All right. Okay, guys. So we have a group, a nice select group of questions here, and I'm gonna go ahead and ask them, and you guys feel free to jump in. Whoever would like to take it. Okay. All right. So one of the ones that I know a lot of you are passionate about is when you're online, when you're live streaming or creating content, how much of like ideation goes behind the performance? How much of that is like a focus? So, do you have any advice around and best practices while filming? Title.
Yeah,
please.
here. I can do the first part. So basically, my main thing is like when you're performing, you literally like be yourself. If you play something and like you're not afraid to be who you are, like I think it really helps your audience connect with you. Because like for me, like I'm not afraid to be like loud or or just like obnoxious. Because that's. But I think it just allows me to connect with my audience more, and it's a lot more fun. And they know.
I love it.
Thing.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. Add to that. How much do you guys think about that? Yeah.
So what we do, a lot of like role plays, and so I completely agree with being yourself. Even in role plays, like we'll have scripts, but they're very loose scripts. As long as you know like the premise behind what you're doing, and you know, okay, point A, I start here and I have to land at point B. Like don't be afraid to capture moments. Let like whoever you're working with be themselves, and definitely be yourself, because that's when the best moments come. But I think having a premise of this is how it's at least gonna go, like start and end, I think that can definitely make it go smoothly.
Wonderful. All right. Anybody else want to add to that?
Yeah, I can take
go ahead.
that. Normally, whenever it comes to recording, we'll have either yourself or like the group that I'm playing with. We will give an intro. We'll give like a base, what's actually going to happen. After that, it's kind of just freeform. We just go with the flow, play the game, have fun. There's definitely times where you can script stuff and make it set out so it's supposed to happen at this moment. But if you're going to just wing it, have fun with it. Don't be like so tied down to where you have to get stuff done exactly at one moment. Just experience the game, have fun, and like Title said, yourself. Be honest with people and be honest with yourself. So.
It's wonderful, wonderful. I think it's also because I think the viewers will feed into that energy, into that, and authenticity as well in the moment. When you're in the moment, they can feel it. I love that. Yeah. Awesome. The next question is, what is it that drives your creativity and your strategies when you're deciding on what you want to make? Yes, Mav.
Hi. I think I like this question. I think for me, a lot of times, I think just like my supporters and everybody and all the positive feedback, people that are looking forward, kind of motivates me. That's probably what motivates me the most. Is just knowing that there's people out there that are waiting, and that if I don't post, they're like, "Hey, Mav, where are you? I want your content." And so I'm just like, no, it's not necessarily I don't want to disappoint them. It's just that I want to give them what they want, and it's a really cool feeling knowing that there's people that want that kind of content from you. They want to see you, and you can be there, and then also making a lot of people there, they send me comments like your video made me laugh today. I was and I needed a laugh, and those kinds of comments really they just motivate me and inspire me even more. And I think that's probably for me that's the number one thing that makes me keep going the most.
Okay, that's your motivation.
comments,
What are some
dude.
what are some ways? Yeah, what are some where do you get inspiration for like topics for some of your comedy
Topics.
sketches?
Yeah,
man?
yeah.
Okay.
The funny thing is because like YouTube, this is like ever since I was little, even before it was like this giant thing that people were making money and like doing for a living. I've always wanted to do YouTube, so I think being obsessed with YouTube ever since I was a kid and seeing all the different topics and all the trends come and go, I think that because of all the different kinds of topics I've seen blow up and stuff, I kind of like play into like what I can do with my next topics and kind of like I'm always thinking about it. And even if I'm like having a conversation with Ty and something funny comes up and we start thinking about, man, that's so funny what you just said. What if we created a skit just from like that one line we just said that made us laugh? And so I'm always constantly thinking of how I can make a video out of something. Just I don't know, my brain just always going at it, just always spinning. So that's
what happened.
I think just being just thinking about it in a creative way, and just kind of it's kind of like you're just having fun as well, not just with the videos, but with creating the ideas. You're trying to have fun with it. Yeah.
That's awesome. You look forward to creating, especially with friends. That's really awesome. I love it.
Exactly.
Does anybody else want to add to what drives your creative strategy and just
Yeah,
you
sure.
decide on what you want to make? Go ahead.
So I think I have kind of a unique perspective on that because I feel like groups of people usually, and it's more like gameplay videos, whereas I usually record by myself, just talking about news and such. So it's a little bit different, whereas like I don't need to constantly think about ideas as much as like reporting on things that happen, and kind of something that drives me to keep going is that, if I go 2 or 3 weeks without making a news video, I think some people like rely on that to know what's happening in the game. So I start getting a lot of comments like, when's the next Rec Room Roundup? When's the next thing you're doing? So that's kind of what keeps pushing me to do it, because I know a lot of people rely on that, and they start asking if I don't do it. So gotta keep doing it. And I enjoy doing it, and fulfilling when I put out a new episode and get to see all the comments and such.
No, that's awesome. I've actually definitely heard players and mods and other folks who definitely watch you because there's just so much going on. It is very helpful to have everything summarized. So you've become like a source of news for many of us. That's awesome. Oh my goodness. The next question that we all discussed was that we wanted to answer for you guys is, do you have a roadmap? Do you guys create a roadmap or a plan or a way to decide what you want to do next? Does anybody kind of plan in that way? Who would like to share? Go ahead, Title.
Okay, so I start off like literally only in the rec center. That's like all I've been, that's like where my specific niche has been. Like just like going around doing or something like that. But I want to start branching out to playing more like Quest and other VR games in general, like probably like VR chat or other games I can react to. I'm gonna start branching out more, and I think that'll be really fun to react. Kind of like what Jacksepticeye does a little bit. He plays a lot of games. He just he just chills, and it seems really exciting. So that's probably where I'm gonna head to next.
Okay, so branching out. Anybody else like to share? How do you guys how do you plan your roadmap moving forward? What do you have planned?
For the most part, I think for me. Oh, go ahead.
No, go. I saw you talking first.
Okay.
You're gonna make her angry,
23 hours later.
So, for the most part, so maybe I do try to stick to like a roadmap whenever it comes to new releases. So like I try to work with developers where like if a game's coming out or new priority, so that way their new stuff can be promoted on a good time and it doesn't always work out like that. Like I promise you, I'll write out stuff at the start of the month and get the whole month going, and it goes off the rails so very fast because there's a lot going on, and so I mean you can definitely try to plan for everything, where you just kind of have to adapt to it. So I definitely try, but it doesn't always plan out like I think it would.
You know what? But would you say it's good to plan at all? Like at least plan, even if it doesn't go as planned, to have that structure in the beginning? Do you think that's helpful
I think it's good.
Not doing it?
Yeah. It's definitely good to start it. Have like a little bit of a plan.
Nice.
If only
Cool,
Rec
thank
Room
you.
had something new like that coming out soon.
The plan.
The plan.
I think.
Yeah. Go ahead, Matt.
I think when it comes to like planning, even if you don't have like just have an idea like for the month, so you know you can have content out. It's just so relieving knowing like what you're gonna put next or what you're gonna work on next. Gonna wing it all the time. It can also be consistent because then you don't have your next plan, next move. So just kind of like knowing what your next move is gonna be is always really always really helpful, and just kind of like it's one less worry you have to like think about. Yeah.
I hear you. That's awesome. Yeah, when you plan, it gives you freedom, actually, when you actually organize a bit. I hear you. What about Bobby? I know you want to also share a little bit.
Oh, yeah, no, I was going to say, me and my husband, actually, and Marshall, we have weekly Monday meetings, actually. And, yeah, they're in the audience. And so we, like, even now, we have our complete plan for October. We know every video that's going to come out. But, again, it doesn't always go to plan, like even Ssfx said. Like, we just recorded this, well, I recorded Surgeon Simulator to come out in October, and my voice didn't pick up at all. So that video is going to be scrapped, but you can plan, and, things just, it doesn't go to plan sometimes. But I think having a plan is really good, and then, like, the way that we get our ideas, I like to scroll through TikTok, and I'll see, like, if I'm going, like, if I'm on, like, gaming TikTok, and I see a game that looks like it's either going to scare the, like, bejesus out of me, or if it's just going to make me have such a reaction, then I'm like, I'm going to do that one. Because I know my audience, and they love it when I scream. I mean, they love it when me and you get together. And
like it when we
scream. They like it when I get scared. So I kind of go off the engagement of what I know my community would love. So, yeah.
Yep.
Love
this
it.
is what my community
quick-
loves. Okay, sex.
Speedrun question for Ssfx.
Ssfx?
What type of tacos? Like straight out like Mexican tacos or Taco Bell tacos?
No, I'm talking like authentic, like street tacos, or like they're good. Fantastic.
Okay, just decided. Just nice.
Appreciate that.
Okay.
Man of culture.
Yeah. Culture. All right. Okay. This next question. All right, squad. This next question we're going to answer for you is there any tips or tricks you want to share about data on YouTube? Like, what's the most important metric for your channel, and how do you go about driving them and learn from them? I know BVR's like, I
love data.
Here we go. BVR, you have the floor.
All right. So when it comes to YouTube, right, there's a bunch of analytics on your analytics page. You don't care about those besides two of them: your click-through rate and your audience retention rate. Well, you don't not care about them, but those are your two most important ones. That basically measures how much people click on your videos and how long they watch. And YouTube likes it when people click on your videos and they watch a lot of it, which is what gets them to promote it more. So if you can get that audience retention rate, just the percentage, like the percentage that someone watches through your video, if you can get that like above, I think it's like average 30%. If you can get that like above 50%, YouTube will see that and they'll start recommending your video. And you can actually structure your video around that. Make sure there's a lot of like action happening always, that you have like a lot of cuts. A good way to do that is to kind of have a storyline all throughout that then like is resolved at the end, so then people want to keep watching to see the resolution. There's a ton of strategies you can do to increase audience retention. And then your click rate is basically the amount of people that see your thumbnail that click on it, or video and title. So that's completely reliant on your thumbnail and title, and that depends a lot on your choice with that. When you make your first thumbnail and title, you're kind of just guessing what works until you see what looks nice, what people like to click on more. Generally with thumbnails, you want to keep them nice and simple and stuff. So I don't know, I've talked too long, but click-through rate and audience retention, those are the things you want to try. Go for.
Top two. No, thank you so much. Yo, everybody.
Next question.
40 cheers. Hold back. Yo, the Cliff Notes. 40 cheers, BBR right now. Dropping that knowledge. Big brain.
Clip it.
Okay. Clip it. Yes, guys. BBR, big brain moments for all of us. All right. All right, next up. Oh, did anybody want to add any top two Pro tips
I'm
to
good.
analytics
I think we're
metrics.
just learning here. I don't think we can follow that.
Like, we are good,
I'm
you
over here
guys.
like writing stuff
Thank
down.
you.
Like, okay, got it.
I'm sorry.
That
Thank
is
you,
something
BBR. Oh my gosh. All right, next up is you know what?
What is
Hey, I know
next up?
we all want to do this. Like, what is the hardest, most difficult part of this job of doing this for you guys? I feel like we can all share a little bit here.
What is it?
What is like most challenging part? Mav is like, I'm ready. Go ahead, Mav.
I
Go, Mav.
didn't see anybody, so I thought. I think for me, the most challenging part is I think balancing, just work and YouTube and your life.
Balancing.
Because I know that YouTube takes up a lot of time for me. And then everyone has different situations. Like even with work, it's been a lot crazier because I've been working a lot more overtime and taking a lot more responsibilities. And so when I get home, I'm a little bit more mentally drained. It's harder to record a video after that and have like the energy. And even if I'm not doing that, and if I'm just editing, and I'm just sitting there, I'm like, man, I don't even want to edit. But I think just I think for me that's the hardest part is like obviously some people that do it full time, like they have all the time, they can stretch their work around however their schedule is. But for a lot of people, I think that's a really big thing that they have to overcome and just kind of push through it and just do the work.
Yeah. I'm curious because I'm sure that scenario is very common with a lot of folks. They want to start this YouTube projects or side, part-time or side thing on top with. You found your golden hour or golden day? Like, what have you come up with a way to balance for yourself? Like, what would be some like a quick pro tip advice that you found that works for you?
For me personally, I kind of like try to find the right time after. So I'll take a break. I won't go straight into it because I notice that if I go straight into it, man, it's like even harder for me. So I'll go home and relax a little bit. Try to not think about it too much, and then when I get to my computer, I kind of just do it. And also, I stay up late sometimes, like a lot of times. So you just got to do what you got to do. And
oh wait, hello, whoever joined.
that thing going on, like another business that.
Hi guys.
Is one thing that I'm doing, and I need to prioritize that, because I feel like
whoever joined,
you don't want it
to the stream.
You don't want it to, get in the way of your work life. And if if they understand, then that's a good thing. But I think you should mention it if it's going to end up affecting your work schedule as well. You should at least let them know.
Communicate. Just communicate as soon as up front. Very good. It's awesome. And responsible. So responsible. Communicate. Anybody else want to share? What are some challenges that you experienced doing this?
For me, it would be like, as a mom and a parent, how to balance, because we both obviously work from home, and so it's the same thing, how to balance work from my family time. But again, it's harder because my studio, which is in my outdoor, is my family, and so it's hard to balance sometimes when my kids want and need me, but I know me and my husband need to get out this video when you need to record, or we have this stream going on, so it's hard to kind of balance that. But now that they're back in school, that's kind of become our golden time, our golden hour, to be like, okay, we have this time to this time to get recordings done and everything done, and then as soon as they get home, we shut down work and we really just focus on them. But it does get hard because sometimes I'll be super in work mode, and then I go grab my kids from school and I want to go back in the studio and keep working. But I know, no, I have to spend family time, or maybe I'm spending family time when we're watching movies, and I'm like, I don't want to go into the studio and record right now, but I know I have to. So that's probably the hardest right now in this season that we're in for us.
That's amazing. It's a lot of factors you have to kind of juggle. Yeah. Oh, title?
Okay, so for me, I was thinking about the question as you guys were talking, and for me, it's writer's block. So I have notes, you know, of what videos I want to do in the future, right? And usually when I have an idea in my head one day, it's like, right, I just add it on. But sometimes you don't have an idea for a while, and you go down your notes, and you get to the end, and then you kind of have like a little bit of writer's block to figure out, okay, what am I gonna do next? What's my next 5 videos or something to push out? I find that to be kind of difficult because like you kind of like that whole year is just like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? You know. But that's my.
What helps you? Have you found something that works sometimes that helps you get past it? What works for you to get past writer's block?
Yeah.
So, usually when I interact, if something like Matt said earlier, if something funny happens, finally, you know, ooh, what if I do this or something? You know, like let's say we're talking about plants, a gardener in the rec center. Let's see what reactions we get. You know, something like that.
I like that idea. I like that approach. It's very live. It's like you're actually brainstorming in the moment, but you're ready to act on it right there and just seize it. You take that energy to seize it right. Boom, there you have your video. That's awesome. Very cool. Anybody else want to share your challenges? I love challenges.
I feel like the biggest
Give me
challenge for
some
me
challenges.
It used to be editing. I used to couldn't stand editing. Now I don't mind it. I usually do it late at night. It's very calm, very peaceful. I'll knock it out. My most challenging thing is like finding creative ways to make titles and thumbnails. Like if I can finally make a good thumbnail, I'm happy with it. For the most part, I feel like that's like it's just hard to construct a good thumbnail to me. I don't know if that's just me personally or like everybody has a challenge, but that's something I always struggle with.
Maybe it's like every video needs a thumbnail. You can't just not have a thumbnail. That's not pro.
Yeah.
So you need so it feels. So anybody here have a quick tip on like how you guys are like, oh, I sneeze them out. Yes, Mav is like I do that.
For me, when I mean, my thumbnails aren't exactly like, you know, super pretty and stuff like that. Like my main thing with my thumbnails is that as long as they're doing half the work of the title, for me, I think that's what really matters, because when they look at the title and thumbnail, they gotta have to like work as like a duo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta have to like almost see the title by just looking at the thumbnail, and sometimes that'll make people click even better. Like, you know, they want to click more because of the thumbnail itself, even though it's not super pretty. As long as like it's a little maybe engaging, or they want to see what, you know, you can have some question marks or something to like make them let them know. Oh, it's like, or you know, you can have different specific things you can put there to let them know it's a challenge video, or to let them know that something's gonna happen at the end of the video. Like you can get them interested using that thumbnail. And I think for me, that's to go the route of like making the thumbnail interesting, like making them want to click on it more than making it super fancy and pretty. You know, some people would rather just make him want to click on fancy, but that's how I personally like to do my thumbnails.
Oh, okay. Jeff, thank you. That's awesome. BVR.
You know your stuff.
Everything is 100% smooth for you? Dick, what's the tea? What's the tea with you?
No
So
what has this become?
When it comes to the hardest part, right? With a lot of you, it seems like you know, you're trying to like balance your work and life, or like you're trying to come up with ideas. For me, it's more just like personal motivation, right? Like I have the idea and I have the time to do it, but actually, for some reason, I can't convince myself to go in and actually record the video. I'm not totally sure why, but eventually I do usually get around to it, and usually something that helps with that is just like taking smaller steps first. Like if I don't want to get in Rec Room to record a video, first I'll just like get in Rec Room, right? And then maybe eventually I'll go to the room to record the video, and then, you know, eventually I'll actually record the video. So that's something I am actually working on, and that's probably the hardest part.
Nice. Thank you so much. Okay, so you just throw. It's like, you know what? All right. It's like people say, go to the gym. Just show up. Then all of a sudden it just happens.
If I have a question for you, DVR. So if that's like your challenge, like what like about your video, what part of it that makes you think like that kind of makes it hard for you to like get straight into? Is it the editing part, or the recording part, or is it just the whole thing as a whole?
I genuinely could not tell you. It's usually getting started on a video, I guess, or like so I guess it would be recording then, because usually with editing, I can sit down and like do that whenever. I don't usually procrastinate on editing, but it's actually recording the video I'm not entirely sure why, but that's just like there's some block in my brain that doesn't want to do that. Even though I do want to do it, like, it's weird.
No, I 100% get that. I've been there.
Yeah, I get that too sometimes. I think it's also because, like, for us, for content creators in VR, it's more work. You know, you have to move, you have to get up, you stand there. You're not playing a game and you're just sitting there like a lot of, you know, a lot of other YouTubers, you know, just sit at the computer. And for us, we got this heavy thing on us. It might be hot. You might just not feel like getting up, or, you know, so it's, I feel like VR content creators is physically more work. So it's totally understandable why, like, you know, you don't want to, because I think that's why a lot of us probably sometimes don't feel like getting in the headset or having to record. And then you're constantly, you know, taking it off and stuff like that. Or work. So yeah, probably just taking small steps and working up to it is probably a good idea, anyways.
Yeah, mad respect. Respect to VR content creators, you guys. We're putting on like a suit of tech armor to get in here for you. We need our own shirt. We need a t-shirt. I love it. Oh, these are so great. We actually we're doing great on time too, it looks like. Alright, we actually, as we discussed, we actually have just one more, like, ask, you can all answer real quick.
Okay, what is the next one?
Would you recommend above all else when starting content creation in general? Okay, who wants to go first? People like, Ty, then Soul.
Oh, what?
And then you guys.
Oh, okay. Well,
Ty, you were first. Were you scratching your ear? Were you scratching your ear?
He wasn't raising his hand. He was.
Yeah.
That was the opposite of volunteering. That was a complete opposite.
Okay. I got you. Okay, so when you're doing a video, it's pretty known whether or not you're having fun for what you're doing. So when you're doing it, have fun with it. Just don't hold back any, like, don't like hide any of yourself. Just, like, you know, go for it. Your audience will recognize that. I'm telling you, like, it's so easy. Like, with all these different YouTubers having high energy or low energy, if that's what you have, and you're just relaxing, you're just talking. People notice, and if you constantly, you know, just be, and people like that, they will subscribe to you and keep watching your videos as it makes happy. You know, that's my advice for you.
Oh, that's great. It's great advice. All right. Pro tip.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Above all else.
Above all else. Okay, so mine's kind of along the same lines of Ty. You know, if you're going to be doing this, do it because you're having fun with it. Don't record stuff where, like, you feel you're forced to make it, you're not having a good time, it's awful. Like, if you're going to do it, have fun. Because, I mean, what's the point in pursuing things in life if it's not going to bring you joy?
If it's not going to bring you joy, don't do it.
All right. Scratch your ears. Give me a signal. Give me a sign. I'm about to choose. All right. Matt!
It's actually funny. Like, it's like kind of close to like what they're talking about. But hold on, I'm falling off the couch. But basically, and also I just realized I'm probably not in my retcon stuff, huh? I just.
No, you look good, though. Don't worry about it. You look good.
I can't look down, so I didn't realize I wasn't. So yeah, sorry about that. By the way. Anyways, I just realized when you guys turned at me that you guys are all wearing the retcon. I was just like, I look down and I can't see anything. Okay. Anyways, my pro tip, you know, like they were saying, you know, like have fun. Make sure you know you're having fun with what you're doing. I think that's really important. But it's also like every video, like throughout what you're doing in YouTube, you're gonna be portraying a character, which is you. So you want to make sure you portray your best self, and you portray you. Don't hide. You know, if something embarrassing happens, if it's funny, just put that in there. You know, like let them know. If you're clumsy, let them know you're clumsy. If you have a sense of humor, like a different sense of humor, you know, let that shine, because you know, like people are gonna come back for you at the end of the day. And if you know you're like starting YouTube and you're like, oh man, I really like Ssfx's content, I like Ty's, I'm gonna be like him, I'm gonna try to do videos like him, and you realize that you're kind of like not portraying yourself, you're gonna be portraying something that's really not you, and at the end of the day, people are gonna be looking for something that's not you, and I feel like I'm tired of even if just a few videos in, and as well, it's just gonna kind of throw you off. I think it'll like throw you off of your content because it's probably not going to be what you're naturally who you are, you know. So I think, yeah, just trying to portray yourself and and having fun, and then just figuring out all the other things, letting all the other stuff like balance, and coming up with ideas. Let that come in over time, because all that stuff is going to come over time. It's not going to like right off the bat, especially starting a channel. That's not going to be easy, you know. So you want to take that kind of stuff slowly and just focus on having fun and doing what you think would be best for your character.
Very nice. I'll be authentic to yourself. Be real.
Yes.
Be real. I love it. Any above all else, one tip. Go ahead.
I can go. I think above all else, don't forget your why. And when I say your why, it's why do you even start YouTube? Why would you even want to be a content creator? And so knowing your why is what's going to drive you on the days when you're not motivated, on the days where it's really hard, on the days where you're not getting the views you want to get. What is your why, and how is it going to improve? Because the more you grow, the more your why is going to change. And so you want to maybe like 3 or 6 months after you make like your first why, go back and reevaluate it, because I know, like for me, when I first started, I actually made a YouTube video on my why, and I took it down and I need to make another one. But I still have the base, which is like I'm doing this to show people that you don't have to, you know, reach this tier level before you can start being still maintaining my base. But the more I've gotten to know my community, I've really gotten to know what you guys need, and that's become my why. And so that would be my like tip above all else, is before even starting, figure out why you want to even start. Figure out what value you can bring to anybody that watches you. You know, that first person who watches you, what are they going to get out of your videos? Are they going to get laughter, joy, information? Like, what are they going to get out of it? And then continue to evaluate that as you grow as a person, and as you grow with like your channel, and as you grow with your community. So yeah.
Love it. Thank you, BB. And last but not least, I know. Oh, why BBR? Why? Why do you do what you do? I'm kidding. I know.
I don't think I can say too much that no one else has already said. You know, that's all good advice. Be yourself. I really liked what V-Bunny said. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much else to add on to that. I think you guys covered it pretty well. Make sure you're enjoying what you're doing, and don't be fake about it, and that's about it. Yeah.
And don't be bad about it.
All right. Amazing. Thank you guys so much. All right, you guys, we are ready for your questions coming from the chat. Hot from the chat. Here we go. From the live stream YouTube chat. All right, because the watch is, I can't speed read that. So I've been seeing this question be repeated and repeated and repeated. Okay. What inspired? I love this question. Okay, this is coming from Unusual Lucky. What inspired you guys to make your first video? What?
That's a good question.
What?
I know. I want to know. I'm very curious. Somebody, please. Go, Ty.
Okay, I more have 2 reasons. Okay, so one, I used to watch this YouTube channel called Handy, traveling around VR chat, you know, and having so much funny moments. And then I started Rec Room, you know, on the quest, and I was like, and I saw some content, and then I saw your video on Crimson Fall, and I was like, and after watching that video, I was just like, you know what? I want to do this because people are making videos on Rec Room. I just found that I really want to do this, and and then after like my first couple videos, I had that trouble of staying with it because I had first started, and then I met Mav around my Star Wars Fallen Galaxy auditions, and then like as I saw like how he does his video stuff, you kind of like made me like realize like, you know, if I just kept going, I can get. You know, I start going up more and more. Yeah. Kind of like how it worked. That's why there's like a weird like time gap between 2 of my videos earlier on. That's how I started.
Your first video. What tried you to do your first video? I actually want to hear everybody's answer. Yeah, please be.
All right. So, I am kind of in a unique situation with this, I think, because I have 2 channels, so I had 2 first videos. My first one was on my Billybob channel like 6 or 7 years ago at this point, and at that time, I really wanted to be a Minecraft YouTuber, because didn't everyone? So, yeah, I don't know, I played Minecraft a lot. I watched a lot of Minecraft YouTubers. I would start, like, talking to myself while I was playing Minecraft. I was, might as well record this. So that's why I started that. And then years and years down the line, just last year, I believe, I'm coming up on the 1-year BVR anniversary. I was seeing a lot of Rec Room YouTube videos, and I was getting back into Rec Room around that time, and I was thinking, hey, I have a lot of really good ideas for Rec Room videos. I see all these other people doing it. I could do that same thing. And then I had the idea for Rec Room Weekly, which is now Rec Room Roundup, where that would give me a consistent sort of video style to make every single week. So I knew that even if I didn't have another video idea for that week, I could at least make a Rec Room Weekly video then, and I would keep things going. So that idea, combined with all these other ideas I had and seeing other people do it, is what led me to make a new channel for Rec Room stuff. And that's where we are now.
Nice. Organizing information. This is for this channel's for this channel's for this. Nice. I love it. All right. We have a couple more coming in. Here. The next one is, let's go with, let's see, I had it a second ago. We're going to go, okay, I'm going to go because they've been persistently for the entire time. There was Mav. Mav. Dude, this is from Naruto Nerd. Naruto Nerd wants to ask Mav, do you have advice for growing up? I'm kidding. Do you have advice for growing? Oh, YT! I actually read it as growing up. I was like, what is that question? What? Oh, you mean on YT, on YouTube. I actually read this. I was like, is that what they're asking? I had like, the first glance, I was like, what? On YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I was confused when you said it too. For growing, for me, I know like it's different for a lot of people, but for me, I never really was like, I kind of just pushed the content and just made sure that I was consistent. I never really was like thinking about growing or like had goals of like when I hit 1K or 2K or 10K or whatever. I was really excited, right? I'm pretty sure all of us were excited when we hit those milestones. But for growing, I think it's always going to be content at the end of the day. Just content. I just think trying to just compete with yourself and making better videos is gonna just push you to grow more, because you're gonna become a little bit more about your work when you start focusing on the content itself as well. And then the only like data I really look at is like BVR said, the click-through rate and the retention, but for me, I like to look at like just like my overall like either like my views or whatever, and then if I notice there's a drop, I'll notice like was it because of this video or that video, and then I just want to do whatever I can to make sure that those numbers are just those views or daily views or whatever are just either consistent or going up. As soon as they go down, then I try to adjust, see where I went wrong or what's going on or what I'm missing. But those are mainly like for growing, because I mean that is for growing, right? Because your daily views is you're growing, right? So I think that's kind of like, if you want to grow, that's probably what you would want to be looking at a lot, and just kind of like taking care of is your like daily growth. And I think that if you really want to grow, that's something that you could look at. Yeah.
Okay, day by day. I like that. Take it day by day, because I think it can change. It can change over time what really works. So yeah, adapt, and paying close attention. I think that's really smart. That's really good. And double check. I think we have time for one more question from you guys. Oh, we have someone in the crowd. I'm jumping off stage. What are you saying?
Paprika.
What was your moment? Paprika. Oh man, I can't. I need a sniper?
Yeah, I could do it.
All right. Here's a question I keep seeing repeated on the chat in the meantime. Ooh, yep, that's my reminder. It is, what is your favorite video? And I'm curious about why. So Ty's like, that was adorable. Go, Ty. You already thought of what? What's going on?
Oh, okay. So far, my favorites that I've ever done was, and possibly my most iconic thing about my channel is me being a girl. I used to be doing girl voice video. It's not just a specific one. I just like
Do it right now. Do it right
even
now.
Mavs. Can we hear it? Oh, okay.
Alright, hello. You can be a girl if you want to.
No, that's not.
I love her. I think she's amazing. I love her.
Jessie, man, Jessie's adorable.
Jessie, I love her. I believe this character when you play them. I believe like that's not Taz, a whole other person. I'm their female. I love Jessie.
She first appeared on Mav's channel when he was players.
So the backstory to this, we got origin scores.
Yeah. I thought we don't talk about that, huh? That was hilarious. That was one of my favorite videos ever to make. That was so funny.
Oh yeah. Almost like
that was actually yeah. I think that might have been my first video of you guys. Yeah, that was my first video together. Yeah, that was, and it's ever since I love it. Anybody else want to give a shout out to their favorite video that they've made so far? I'm curious about why.
I think mine, and it's not one I feel like a lot of people think of, is I used to make like a series on Electronauts called the Jam Sessions, and that game you make music. Listen to the music, because I actually made something I enjoyed, so that was something I was like really proud of for myself. So.
I love that. That's awesome. So, more jams. Yeah,
more jams. More POW jams.
I think one of my favorite videos.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I think one of my favorite videos as well that maybe not a lot of people think I would like, but it's actually my like best friend videos, and it's kind of where I go into very questionable games with other like VR Kanojo type things, where it's supposed to be honestly an inappropriate game, but I make them my friend, and then I put myself in awkward situations. Those are so fun to me. I like thinking on the spot, and I like making backstories of the girls. And the ones that I have.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. BVR. I'm
All
sorry,
right, yes.
BVR, yes.
Some people call me BB. All right, my favorite video on my channel. It's the one that I've had pinned to the front page for 6 months now. It is the Orange Cube video. In case you don't know, I made an Orange Cube invention, and I sold it on the invention store for 100 tokens, and I told everyone to go buy it, and then all the money I've made from that, I have put into like a free gifts button, and I've given out to people in rec centers and such. And I have never followed up on that yet. But soon, I swear. Actually, we've got a big audience here, so I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Click on my profile, go to the portfolio, buy the Orange Cube.
It should work.
We're trying to make it the most bought invention in all of Rec Room.
That's amazing.
I don't think I bought that yet.
Look at
Actually,
everybody on their
the
watches.
Shame.
They're all looking at it.
Everyone's pointing. Everyone's getting the cube right now.
I love it.
All
Hey,
right.
this will motivate me to make the
I
second video in
just-
that series again.
Everyone's like, hold
Just
on, let's
bought
check
it.
out this cube.
Nice.
Nah, that's too much ink
I
for
just
me.
bought it. I just bought it.
Too much
I don't
ink.
get it.
Too much ink. That's a little too much ink. You like, make it decorational for us first. Take that step.
My bad.
Oh my gosh. I don't know, Matthew, if you guys co-opt for the fave video being the Jessie one, or did you have another one as well?
Oh,
For
we
Matt, I'll
have
make
two
sure
videos.
everyone-
Okay, so when he first showed me that voice, I instantly had this idea. I was just like, to do a rec center video of like trolling with a girl, but a real girl. But then when I met Ty and he was like doing this voice, I was like, I was gonna say who needs real girl, and I don't actually mean that. I meant, I was like, it's like, it's like Ty, dude, this is funnier if you do it instead, because no one's gonna expect that. And so we made the video, and then did another one. We did another one, but this time we did an event, and then we kind of like just trolled people as they came in. But we made sure to like at least like tell people like if they're gonna be in the troll that we get permission from them, because it's a pretty funny video. But some people might not want to be in that.
Yeah. No, that's really not. Yeah, guys, quick pro tip before when you're doing videos like that, it is definitely respectful to let them know before you post it. Like, do you mind if you're on the video? Like, just ask the people that you've surprised. Let them know, hey, I was actually filming. You know, could you mind if I put you in the next YouTube video? Get there. Okay, yeah, that's good. That's great. You guys, thank you guys so much for sharing your time with us. Your pro tips and everything and your stories. They're so inspirational.
Yeah,
you guys, over here, everybody in audience says cheers one at a time. I want to blow up. Everybody, show your cheers from all your. You probably already have hundreds. Do it and live stream. We're gonna be ending the stream.
Okay, I don't have cheers turned on.
How do I turn it on?
Oh, I'm getting so many. I can't even use my watch. Oh my god! Wait, did I just see time?
I don't know if I have my
I'm gonna. All right, guys. So here we go. Thank you guys so much for watching YouTuber panel. I have a part 2 tomorrow and a part 3, so stay tuned for that. We've got a stream coming up next, so we're gonna see you guys later. Bye. Subscribe to Everything Record.
Thank you guys.
All right, we get the questions. We're still broadcasting.
Gotta turn off. Cheers.
Broadcasting game. You too. Behind the scenes, you're amazing.
They're all stuck
you guys
in.
are amazing.
They're all lagging. They're not doing too great.
All right.
Ooh, I'm in
many
the darkness.
cheers?
Where are we?
Where's my watch?
I'm in the back. Let
Nice.
me turn up voices real quick. All right, we'll say bye to the broadcast. All right.
Bye, broadcast.
Bye,
Bye,
broadcast.
guys.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for
Oh, let's take a
listening.
group picture. Let's take a group picture with you guys.
Oh, good
For the-
picture.
Yeah. Can you? Can we?
I hate
Yeah,
to tell you
yeah.
guys, but these guys they're stuck. they took too many cheers. Cheers.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
epic. All right.
no.
We'll take a group photo. BVR. VB.
Okay, I'm coming.
This is something I want to try. Oh, I fell down. Hold on a second. I can't jump, apparently. Let me go back over here. All right. I'm going to take a group photo. If everybody in the instances want to gather right here, this is a chance for you to try your best. Try your best. And then,
Can they rejoin? Oh, I should probably stand up.
Yeah.
oh, I think I know why. OVR takes over everything.
Don't
That's why I
stand
couldn't.
so. Don't stand so.
All
Don't
right.
stand so close to me.
Closest I've ever been to BVR.
All right. And those in the other side can also take photos. Oh, okay. We go actually. That's right. Let's go to Hambone. Let me put my camera real quick.
We're gonna
right
get
here.
Soul back in here. Other
Yeah,
people.
let's get them back in here. If they're
We're on the
if they can get
stage.
back in here.
It's giving
I
us
think
a
their entire game's
I can't.
died.
Oh. All right.
Oh, there they
there's
come.
Bible.
Yay! All right. Let's
Ssfx coming.
let's
Too many cheers.
Wait. Let's test the
Yo,
broadcasting
stop.
real quick. Let me get you back on the broadcast here. All right.
Oh, whoops.
You just asked. Okay. Accepted. Wait. Ooh. Grant.
No,
Accepted.
we're working on it.
All right.
yet.
Let's see here.
Oh,
All
are
right.
we
We'll
broad?
give it a second. We'll give it a second for your broadcast to show up right over your head. Nice. Does the chat see you? Okay.
All right, does it see it now?
I love it. Oh, nitro.
Yes. I
We're
see
good?
you.
All right, sweet. Dude, the cheers crashed me.
Yeah, I know. You, Soul, and
Watch
Matt
out.
all crashed at the same time.
Something
Really?
just throw something at us.
Yes.
I wish
I'll get
I
back.
was clipping. All right. Okay, guys. Let me see where my camera is. There it is. It's all right.
Come on,
We're
here.
done with the alarms. We're
Get Matt
we're
here.
so
We
on
need to
time.
get Mav and Soul
Yeah,
back.
let's get Mav and Soul. Okay. All right, guys.
Here, just pose for people in other instances that are taking pictures.
Yeah. Everybody in other instances. Just
Oh, I'm so
posing
sorry.
for you guys. Let me make sure your
You're gonna
broadcast is still
pose.
on. Yeah. Tidal Waves broadcast
So
is
cool.
working.
Down, they're gonna
My
Am I
broadcast
still
is working.
Yeah, you're still broadcasting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm curious. It seems like I think it's still working. People are in the chat. Awesome. All right, ready? We'll do one. 3, 2, 1.
Musketeers.
We'll do one more because I think cans were blocking. One more.
Where's my money?
This one anyway. And then is Soul
Where are you,
on?
pal?
Anybody find? You don't see me?
Oh, there you are.
Oh my goodness! You're
Where are you?
VB, you're not. You will show up in the photo. You will show up in the photo. That's a good thing. I'm whispering. Okay. All right. Ready? 3. 2, 1. Gee, smile. All the things. Yes. Awesome. All right, we got one. Oh, there's Hambone. I see you, Hambone. There's
Rip
thank
Soul
you
and
guys.
Mav.
I know, Soul and Mav.
What did you want, Hambone?
I'm drowning. I need help.
Don't get him.
Yeah,
Oh, I
we
think
can do
I'm
one
on
more.
party.
Can we do one more?
Do one more? For sure. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, for
All right,
Hambone.
let's do one more.
Okay,
Yeah,
everybody,
let's
look at the right over
the
the
streamer camera. Okay,
Is that
okay,
Chubby or
the
Stale?
streamer camera. Where's VB?
I'm right
Okay.
here.
All right.
I don't know.
Like
Is
next
there
to
enough- enough space for Mav and
Uh,
Soul to get in here?
It's probably
Yeah.
Yeah.
here.
Atlas.
Tomorrow.
Help us
Whose
grab
camera's
Mav and
out
Soul.
in front?
Mine. You're right.
What's
You're right.
tomorrow?
Sorry. Thank you, pal.
We-
Okay, ready? In
There we
3, 2, 1. Cheese!
Cheese! Cheese and crackers!
Cheese.
Good stuff, guys.
Yay!
Love it.
I think that went
Thank you
really well.
guys.
That was such a fun
All
event.
right.
I appreciate you guys for like inviting me.
So
I
fun.
know. Thank you, pal.
I appreciate
Yeah,
you all.
roasting.
Thank you, everybody.
That was so
Thank
much
you,
fun.
guys.
It was nice.
Thank you, Reed. Thank
It
you
was nice
for
meeting you.
coordinating.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
BB. Nice. Awesome. All right. We're going to stop the broadcast, but you know what? We're going to think it's broadcast until we leave. So, but I'm going to practice. Let's
Yeah.
practice.
Wait, I want to...
Okay.
Can we cause chaos in other instances? Everybody run over here!
Hello. I'm going to stop
Come
the
on, come on!
broadcast.
Everyone come here!
I think it stopped, but we still
You
say
guys are in
broad-
different
probably just-
instances. You all
we should
T-pose.
probably just
You all T-pose.
Can you teach me the thing, Atlas?
You want to T-pose? We'll T-pose.
Oh my god,
Are we T-posing?
Okay. Message you here.
I know.
Which thing? Oh,
Hey, if you guys,
multi-instance
if you guys want another
broadcast?
instance, if you're
I
right
don't
here,
see
can you
the
guys
option to
type in the
stop.
chat
Maybe it
T-pose?
stops when the event
I just want to know. I just want to.
Hello?
Oh my god!
They're doing it! They're T-posing, T-posing.
See you then.
It says frosting over their heads.
Beatrice.
I've never had so much power in my life. Oh my
Alexa,
god!
can I hear you?
Everyone's
Can
saying
you check my sounds, Alexa? I can't hear.
We are
I
trees.
have voices set 12.
That's
Alright, guys, I gotta head out,
Yeah.
but it was really nice being
You
here.
be on the safe
Yeah.
and then you teach me later.
Keep
Chat with
your
you
way
after this,
out. I'll be
actually.
there
Chat
to
with you
do
after this. Awesome.
Huh?
That's hilarious.
All right, everyone.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Subscribe to Tidal Wave.
Oh.
Subscribe.
Subscribe to VB. Subscribe to VB Go.
Subscribe to them.
Subscribe to
On
Pound
Rec
Jam.
Room. On Rec Room. Yes, the hostess with the mostest.
With the mostest. Bro, with the most. We've got pretzel sticks. We've got all this most.
Ooh, I
All
love
right.
If you guys
it,
are
yeah.
wondering how to
So,
spell it, here you guys go.
I'm
That's
going
how you spell
to
it.
exit, because
Here's B-Bunny.
I don't see the option to turn off broadcast. So,
And then projects.
whatever, as long as we're here.
Bye, everybody.
Yes.
On other instances,
Thank
you're
you, guys.
amazing. Thank
Bye,
you for
everybody.
watching.
We love you all.
Thank you guys for hanging
You guys
out.
are
I really appreciate
awesome.
it.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
we'll see you walking around Recon.
This Lee? Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, there's Mav!
Mav, you arrived. Mav.
Mav, welcome back. Hey guys, you
Go
guys
open
can't
your
see,
tunes.
Mav is hopping. You,
Here,
Ty,
here.
and
We got some
Soul
people
were
got
like this
Pepsi
though. You kind of
Stars,
like you were doing the
Crazy
mannequin
Star.
challenge. You were so frozen.
Hi.
It
What's up,
looked-
Gigi?
it looked-
Pepsi, Pixie, George, Sotarks, Lazy Pony,
Are we
Cart,
still broadcasting?
Justin, Billy.
I'm confused.
Can't hear
Buns.
people.
Yeah, we're still broadcasting. I'm reading everyone's chat out.
Oh, I do it.
Wait, leave party? If I'm in a party.
You heard
going.
you
Let's see, party.
Keep going.
Oh, I'm not in a
You
party.
got
Okay.
Spy,
Okay.
Red VR.
Red
All
VR.
Oh my god.
Awesome.
Snake.
And
Mav!
Taco. Hamburger.
And-
Cookie.
What's up?
Lorky, Billy, Understood,
Do they still see
Toki,
us? Do they still see us?
Eleanor, Quiet, Cozy, yeah.
That's fine.
Hello.
That's fine.
Yeah, I
Scully,
mean the other instances.
Jack,
Can they
Yeah,
still
man.
see us?
Sahako, George, I don't even know if I said your name
I'm
right.
frozen?
I'm sorry.
Type yes in
Do
the
it
chat.
down.
Okay.
Type yes.
I
Yeah, we can
think
podcast
so. I
Slim,
can't start it because
Snake,
the event is over.
Scully,
Oh yeah, Pow,
Presley,
V-Bunny, head to
Angie,
my event.
Heavy,
That's in like 2 hours, I think.
Yeah.
That's yours.
Oh, yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. event?
Yeah, I have an
I
event,
have to
then
see.
hop into another event, and then we're getting ready for tomorrow's events. Let's go.
Dude, you guys are
I'm
not ready for
premiering
it. So good.
a new jam tomorrow. Okay, I would love for all you. It's really, it's gonna be hilarious. It's gonna be hilarious. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, chat.
Hey guys, if you guys wondering,
I hope you guys
Find
enjoyed
this
yourselves.
event.
I
It's
hope
like-
it felt, you know, like
Yeah,
after
this is what it's
you know,
called.
playing it, or
Myself.
however you guys
Find
feel
this event.
comfortable and
As you can
just hang out
tell,
with friends.
Virgin reality
Like, you know.
show.
Good, thank you guys. You guys were. It was really. I love hearing.
We can't.
The challenge question and then hearing like
But we
your
can't
solutions.
yet.
That's
It's
one
not
of my
available.
favorites. Yeah, like what are some solutions?
Sub to me, crazy story.
Oh, in the
five.
future.
Wait, Cart, where? High five. I don't know where you are, Cart.
Yeah. More of this. More
I'm
of this.
so curious how many people are
Yeah.
here. It's so weird.
That was that
Okay.
was funny. That was funny.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wait here. I'll go
that was
here
perfect, though.
and just like spin
Okay.
and see people. Wait, are you able to high five and cross
That was
instances?
perfect.
Well,
Realize it. That could be a
instance, chat,
fun
do you
sketch.
still see me? If
I'm gonna
this
go get
feature
ready.
comes to like
I have a
streamers,
horror
would
panel,
you guys
you
want
guys.
a
You should-
stream that's like
you
this
should see-
inside of Rec Room,
you should see.
where
Yeah, we've
it
got
looks like,
Updog, we've
you
got,
know,
like,
obviously I'm
all
here,
the-
and you guys are
all
in the
the
audience
masters of
type
horror,
deal? Would that be a
and
cool
they've
stream?
decored-
Everyone's saying
It's
yes.
not available to us yet,
This place,
but like
it looks spoopy.
when it does,
I'm
I think
so
that'd be
excited.
bomb.
So that's in 1 hour.
Like
I'm gonna go get
imagine,
ready for that. If
imagine
you
we do
guys
a
wanna
role
be in the
play on
audience, let me
stage
know.
and
We'll
you're
get you
in the
into
audience.
The main one.
Oh, that would be cool.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Imagine.
Okay.
That'd be
Wait,
cool.
Gaffid.
Just imagine.
Time for, yeah.
Yeah, for PST.
I straight up went Barney there.
To
Yeah, sounds good.
behind the
Cool.
scenes.
I'm gonna go get ready for that.
Then as soon as it's a thing,
Yeah,
we'll
it's
go
in
with
1
it.
hour. So if you want to get into our instance,
Oh,
I'm
the
gonna do what I
challenge
did.
show's started.
I tested.
So yeah,
starting
go
this
ahead
in
and sub
private. It was
to
really
my
helpful.
rec group so that you can
So I could
get
invite you
up to
guys
dates on
and
when
it-
we
it-
can
I could
actually do that
select
once
people,
that
so that's
becomes
Alright.
a streaming accessible thing.
Okay. I don't think they can
That'd be
hear
cool.
us, so it's okay. Perfecto, thank you for
As
coming.
I stare at my
Thank you for
creative.
I'm gonna be
coming.
driving back on.
Yeah, we're gonna be in a
Yeah,
role play in front of a bunch of people.
Thank you, Cole. All right, Alexa, ready?
Again.
All right.
I
Let me
love
say
it.
bye.
Okay, bye
Dude, that
guys.
was-
You guys are
that was
awesome.
scary.
Hi.
I wave it, dude.
I heard. I swear.
Bye!
No, I was
Oh,
actually
if you
gonna
post
see
pictures on
I-
Instagram,
if I
please
could
tag me,
add
guys.
it back,
Please tag me.
But
I'm at
option
bbunny
to
underscore.
broadcast
Please,
is gone,
thank you.
so I think it goes away when the event
Boy.
ends.
Boy.
It goes away. Yeah. All right.
Boy.
Dude, this
You know,
broadcast
I can't
is
say
gonna be
names,
fun.
and I'm so
Dude, you know
sorry.
what? Okay, so
Luna.
I
Dude,
heard
yeah,
people
so
say they could
basically
see
we
3
were-
of us at a time. Sometimes, like, oh, I see you. And
Yeah, I remember
people,
that.
I caught it every once in a
Yep.
while in the chat. It was.
I
so it was
totally
good
remember that.
You were telling them to go to.
So
We're
during
having
the
another
rec
New
room,
Year's party.
we
It
were
has
in
to
the
happen.
we were in the regular
Mhm.
event,
Yeah.
right?
It's gonna
And while we were waiting, I told
It's gonna
I told
happen,
a story called
Even
Perfect
Halloween,
Passion,
I wanna
right?
do, like, a
and it lasts
Halloween
like 10
party.
minutes. I just thought, I was like,
Yeah.
what if there was
Yeah,
an event where we
I'm all
broadcast
for
ourselves
parties
telling a
and for,
story,
like-
multiple events. You know how cool that'd be?
What?
Yeah.
I have plans.
There's many possibilities. Like,
I have plans.
I
I have
worked out
plans.
all the things. Oh my gosh, I heard some big,
Yes.
huge attendance.
Is that Nacho
in these
Libre?
events already?
Yeah.
Like record-breaking attendance. I'm so excited.
It looks like him.
World
Alexa,
in VR.
We're gonna go get ready for the
amazing.
next panel. I'll see you guys hopefully in an hour.
Nacho
For those,
Libre.
if you want to
Yes.
pop in there, I'll invite you in
Yep.
the room. Okay. Yes.
Oh, are you doing the
if you
horror
wanna-
thing?
Yeah, with red reboot straws and
Yes.
Squirlador.
I want to go
That's
to that
in.
so bad.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
horror
Okay.
thing.
I got you. Yeah, a horror panel.
Oh, there's a horror
It's
panel?
at 3 p.m. PT. I need to
Yeah.
go get ready because
I have to go to
I'm
that.
learning with every
Yeah,
single activity. I'm learning, so I want to
Yeah.
get there early. For youth, I
Yes.
gotta get them broadcasts ready. Gotta get them.
Wait, 8 p.m.
That's
That's an
wear
hour,
their
right?
outfits.
Yeah, PT.
Brush their everybody.
Wait, what's it called?
You did
your
great.
hair. Brush
I need
your
to
hair.
apply
You
that.
did.
All right, Alexa,
It was
let's go
amazing. Your
chat.
answers.
Hello,
Phenomenal.
guys.
Hey, what's
Thank
the
you for
horror thing
coming.
called?
Thank you for coming.
I think it's just horror masterclass roundtable.
So you,
Horror
Mav,
masterclass
BB, you guys
roundtable?
try to join us, okay?
Uh huh.
All right, here we go.
I believe so.
Yes. If you guys,
You're gonna
if you
invite
guys
us?
group
What's
up,
is
I'll
it?
invite
Horror
you guys.
masterclass.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Horror
Thank you, I
Horror
appreciate it.
Masters Roundtable.
There you go. Horror
Okay.
masters roundtable.
Horror Horror Masters
Round
Round
Table.
Table.
I'll feed you if you're really
I'm gonna
hungry.
say bucket. Does it have food?
Yeah. Oh, here it is.
I think I've got. I think I've got
have,
some.
wait, I saw
got
him.
some Twix
I saw
in
him.
my
in like
backpack.
40,
I'll
50
just
minutes.
throw it out. I'll throw it out to the crowd.
You're that uncle. You're that uncle.
It's Twix, so it's chocolatey.
Hello. How you doing?
Straight that uncle.
Pizza with.
Are there
That was
food in the other
nerve-wracking, but
instances?
hold on.
Pineapple
It was
on it.
anticipation.
Yes.
And then
Maybe.
as soon as I went up
Maybe
there,
not.
just like, it was
Maybe
fine.
mushrooms. Some mushrooms for sure. Definitely.
I think
definitely
it ends in
mushrooms.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Well, it starts at
I
3, so we
want
have about 40
that
minutes.
now.
You want to go to walk around?
Thank you, man. I'll see you guys soon. I'm so excited for this panel. This
Wait,
panel is
everyone
like
who's-
pure me. Like me, okay?
Wait.
It's like my night dream come true. I
Can
can't
everyone
wait.
spam in the
I
chat
can't
Joe
wait.
Mama?
All right, follow me, Alexa. Going to someplace. So
Can you put Joe Mama
talk
in the
about
chat?
the advantage. Let's go
of his
to
power right now.
I know I'm not going to get this
private-
broadcasting in a long time, so I'm taking advantage of this. I'm putting Joe Mama.
I love it. Joe Mama.
Wait, I'm going to take a photo of this. Can you take a photo? Oh, you can't take a
I
photo.
love it. I love it. And then I'll be sending you that audition soon.
Oh, this is so amazing. Wreckbot, grenade.
I'll be sending
Dad.
the audition
Huh?
thing soon. I'm excited.
That's true.
It's a role that's like completely not VB, so I'm so excited.
Yeah, and we're not going to have like LVR stuff.
I'm gonna bring out VBAD. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited to try. Yeah. No, thanks.
Okay. That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. Nothing's watching anyways.
Like the
But if
technology is
you're
like growing a
watching-
lot. Like I never thought this was
Yeah,
possible.
what
like,
you've
ever.
done,
See you next time. Bye.
it's so good. Yeah, no, I can tell. It's great. It really is.
Someone
I
just
saw
punched me.
actually in the chat. Amazing.